Okay, ready now.
Hey there, folks, and welcome back to the Paintcast, Episode 5, Conventions and Atari. Uh, Joining me again is my co-host, Stu's Game Reviews, and again, we're just doing a podcast, a Paintcast, what I like to call it, because we're painting and doing a podcast at the same time. Again, if you have anything you'd like to add during the podcast, feel free to discuss it in the live chat, and we'll talk about it. But until then, welcome to my co-host Stu's Game Reviews, who recently just got back from a convention in Roberta Vaughan's honor, one of our good friends who unfortunately passed away not that long ago, and who was heavily involved in the adventure game industry, point-and-click adventure games as well as FMV games. Welcome, Stu.
Hey, how's it going?
Not bad. How are you doing?
I'm pretty good. So is this a paintcast or a podcast?
It's a bit of both.
Both.
It's whatever you want it to be.
Okay. All right, I gotta get my things. Really, really high quality artwork. By the way, speaking of painting, what happened at the Louvre?
Go on. What about what happened at the Louvre? What do you mean?
The famous museum in Paris where
Go,
the Mona Lisa. It was robbed a couple days ago. You hear about that?
no, I did not actually. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
it was robbed. So apparently these guys pulled up a truck to the side of the Louvre, and the truck had like some kind of cherry picking machine like on it, and
Okay.
they like raised up the cherry picking machine and like got to access to an upper floor. They smashed the window with some kind of device. They went in, they smashed a bunch of like cases, and
Okay.
they stole like jewels that were worth like I don't know millions and trillions of dollars. I don't know how much, like priceless jewels basically.
Did did they
And
not
there
have
was
cameras that saw anything?
they were wearing masks. They did
Oh,
have cameras. The two guys that did that were both wearing like construction vests, and there was two other guys that came up driving motorcycles, and they abandoned the truck, and then they both like got on the back of the motorcycles and they drove away. And the whole thing was done within like 7 or 8 minutes apparently. And
Jesus.
then the cops showed up afterwards, and the cops were trying to get in the building, but the doors were locked, and they couldn't figure out how to get in. And basically,
Okay.
it seems like they got away. They left behind like tons of stuff, including like I don't know gloves and tools, all sorts of stuff that like they didn't want to be traced back to them. And the
Yeah.
last I read about it, which was yesterday at some point, they were saying that like if they don't recover this stuff like it's probably already too late because it's going to be basically melted down because the thieves I don't know how they can melt it down. It's like they show these pictures of a crown with like 50 diamonds on it. They were all like probably bigger than anything either of us will ever see, plus like tons of gold and God knows what else, precious stones. and so they can't sell that. Obviously, it's like too hot, and it's also worth like $1 billion. So they're going to try to break it into pieces, sell the pieces, and melt down the gold. And even so, they're saying they probably don't even know how they're going to sell this stuff. But like the point is, the chance of like ever getting back like the crown of Queen whatever stolen is basically zero because the crown of Queen whatever that was stolen probably doesn't even exist anymore. So I mean, it's crazy basically. But when you
Yeah.
talk about when you're painting here, I mean, just think in the future, this painting could be in the Louvre and it could be stolen by some crazy thieves at some point in the future.
I don't think my Paintcast painting is ever going to be in the Louvre, but I appreciate the sentiment there.
It's possible.
Okay. Um, but yeah, no, I did not hear about that at all. Now I got a question for you. Since it's been a while since we last did a podcast, it's been like a couple of weeks. When we last did a podcast, we were talking about how Trump had shut down the government, or the government was shut down. Is it still shut down, or?
Did we talk about that last time? I
Yeah.
don't remember. But yeah, it is still shut down as
Jesus
far as I
Christ,
know.
that's
And
crazy.
actually, I was a little bit worried because I had to go. As you know, I went to Portland Retro Gaming Expo,
Yep.
and in order to get there, like it requires some government help. Like first of all, there's like the TSA that check you and be like whether or not you think they're needed or not, part of the job. And then there's the air traffic controllers, and there's also the people that work for the airports, like the people that do ground control and stuff like that. And my understanding is a lot of those people are not getting paid right now because the government shut down, and they're still being forced to work because they're essential employees, but they're not getting paid. So as a result of that, some people are not showing up to work,
Yeah, of
and
course.
which is understandable.
Right. Yeah.
And then I've heard a lot of stories of flights getting like majorly delayed or canceled or whatever else. I'm very lucky. I didn't have any issues. And actually, there was a TSA guy in Portland who was like really nice. Like something of mine like fell out of the security scanner and was on the floor. Helped me find it. And then he was like, "Oh, you have a great day, whatever." And I'm like, this guy's not getting paid. And he's like being so nice and polite and whatever. Like you would never know, basically. So it's crazy. But yeah, unfortunately, that's still going on. As far as I know, there's no end in sight really,
But
and
when the
a lot of people are
government
being affected.
when the government comes back, I'm assuming they're going to get all that back pay. I would hope.
I would surely hope so, but I think what the problem is, like if you remember, like in the beginning of the administration, like he tried to fire like a whole ton of people from the government,
Yeah.
and then some of them like the courts tried to block it, and a lot of them like they said they're told you can't fire these people, like they made them go back to work. So I think in some cases he's using this as an excuse or threatening to use as an excuse to like fire people permanently. Because like it's like if they're shut down anyway, there's no money. They just close down the whole thing or whatever. And then
Mm.
like if there's no like in that case, like maybe they won't get there. Maybe like who knows. So it's a little bit confused I think at the moment. But like I certainly hope whoever's working gets paid. Um, we live in a messed up place right now. My country is like messed
Yeah.
up country. It's like it's like someone said to me like when I wasn't feeling, you don't live in a third world country. You should like go like get checked in and get help or whatever. Sometimes I feel like I'm in a third world. Uh, I don't know. It's just crazy what's going on.
Are
But it's
you? Sorry to cut you off for a sec. Are you
it's
downloading
okay.
anything, or is anything downloading in your background? Because every couple of words is getting cut off on your mic.
No, I'm not downloading anything. It might be the mic. Let me see if I can adjust it or something. I was like sort of leaning forward or something.
Yeah, every couple of words it just cuts out. I can still understand you. It's not like it's really bad, but it's you are definitely getting cut off.
All right, let me know if it's any better now. If not, I can try something else.
No, no, it's
But
still cutting. It's still cutting out.
still cutting?
Yeah.
Hang on a second.
You got two mics, didn't you say? You
Yeah,
ended
let
up
me try
getting.
the other one. It's probably just me. It's probably like I'm not holding it in the right way, or not like in the right position.
Wait,
I
it's
doubt it's
not
the
a
mic.
it's not a headset?
It's like a headset, but it's like one of these lightweight where like the mic is like near your mouth, and it's hard to explain. Hang on one second. Let me try this.
Okay. But I do recommend that headset that I did tell you about, that one that I'm using right now. I haven't used my Blue Yeti mic in ages. I want to say at least a year.
What the?
You good?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Oh yes. Let me just turn down your volume.
Yeah, this one's louder, I think.
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah. It's going through my skull.
The volume is very loud for me too, actually.
Yeah, I can adjust that on my end.
Can you actually invite me into the share play?
Oh yes, sure. One sec.
Because it didn't matter before, but now the PlayStation music is so loud that it's like drowning me out.
Yeah. All right.
So I can lower this too.
I just lowered it on my end as well. So don't lower it too much because I already did some lowering on my end. All right. Share play. That is not the button I'm looking for. There you go.
Oh, okay, good. Now I'm not deafening myself anymore. All right, can you read better? Is it all better now?
Oh yeah, no, that mic is amazing actually. That's probably one of the best mics you've ever had.
This is the mic that came in that thing that looks like a candy tin. That's the funny thing. So this is a better one, I guess. All right, good to
Oh
know.
yeah, definitely, definitely, definitely. Feels like you're in the
All right,
room with me.
cool. All right. So,
Uh, Go on.
anywho, I
Yes.
forgot what I was saying before. Oh,
You were
it's part of the country
talking
being screwed up, I
about
think.
the yeah. You know what I found really funny is George Takai shared on Facebook this these two tweets. One was like from a while back of Trump saying that yes, I'm going to be doing remodeling at the White House, but nothing's going to get destroyed or anything like
Oh
that. I'm
yeah,
just
and
adding
it's
to
under
it.
construction right now. A
Yeah,
major
and it's all
construction.
ripped apart. He's like ripped apart half the White House.
I
I'm
know,
like,
like
isn't that
I just saw
illegal?
like
Like, I don't understand. Like, how is he
probably
getting? Yeah, how is he getting away with all this shit?
he's building like a Trump ballroom or something like that.
Yeah, a ballroom. Why does a ballroom need it at the White House?
I guess he has big balls and he needs to put them somewhere. I don't know.
Hey, it doesn't even make
Um,
any sense. Do you first of all, do you even think that anybody wants to dance with Trump? Like, what is?
I think he's trying to turn it like into Mar-a-Lago or something like
Oh
that.
God Almighty!
Yeah, no, it's completely ridiculous, honestly. But oh man, I, you, I was gonna say something. I forgot what it was now. What did you say right before the ball? The Trump being destroyed. I can't remember. Oh my god, I'll think of it in a minute. There was something I was gonna say that was like really funny actually. But anyway, if I do say myself, but so yeah, so the whole it's just crazy right now. It's everything is a little nuts,
It,
but
it
eventually we'll get back to hopefully something normal.
there's a bunch of people that were talking about online on Facebook, talking about the ballroom that he's making and everything, and saying that I hope that the next president of the United States just goes in and just completely levels that ballroom.
It probably will happen too.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say now. It wasn't anything about what you said, really. It was just I just wanted to correct you. It's not George Takei, it's George Takei. And you know, the way you know that is because he says it rhymes with gay. George Takei rhymes with gay. That's like his thing. He said, don't say gay, say Takei. I like George Takei. He's a funny guy. But anyway, that's how you
Well,
pronounce his name.
whatever. Um, you know who I meant, obviously.
I
And
did.
I'm sure everybody else did.
I'm just very
Um,
pedantic.
yeah. So, I didn't really. I was busy the night when they streamed that entire convention live. I plan to watch the stream at some point, but
You're talking
apparently
about the concert, right?
no. Other aspects of the convention were streamed as well. Apparently,
Oh, really? Oh, I didn't
yeah,
know that.
yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Um, But no, Trolls did stream the concert as well. I watched the tail end. It was so stupid. I'm like, oh shit, I missed half of it. So I went on to Trolls YouTube channel, and I'm like, oh shit, it's happening still. And I went on, and it's like the literally I join at the part where like fucking Jackie is saying, well, have a good night, everyone, and I'm like, well, fuck me. That's the part that I join in, and I'm like, I'm joining in right as they're doing the high five and everything in Roberta Vaughan's honor, and I'm like, okay, I'll have to
That's pretty
rewatch this
funny.
then.
Well, that's what he said. Like you have to miss and make a sound effect, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah,
Well, it was a really cool. I mean, I want to talk about it actually. It was pretty amazing. But before we
yeah.
jump into that, is there any like new game news or anything like that that we should cover?
Uh, no. I mean,
Well,
so the only games that are coming out in November. Not that I know of. Is there any other games that are coming out for the month of October? Not that I have my eye on.
what is
But
that Peanuts game coming out that you talked
oh,
about?
that's already out.
Oh, it's already
Yeah.
out.
Yeah. I plan to stream it at some point. It's really good. It's very open world, and it's definitely reminiscent of classic Peanuts. So like the classic cartoon movies or whatever they were, like Christmas special and all that kind of shit that they did. Um, and so there's a lot of references to that in the game, but it's very open world. Like you play as Snoopy, and then the other kids are heavily a part of the game. They follow you around and do stuff and stuff like that. It's very much an adventure game, and mixed with like a fetch quest and stuff like that. But it's called Snoopy's Mysteries or something like that.
Oh,
I
cool.
really enjoyed it, and so Snoopy is not voiced, but the rest of the characters are fully voiced, and their
Well,
voice
Snoopy's
actors
never
are
voiced.
and the rest
He's
of
never
their
voiced any of the movies or anything, so it makes sense.
and yeah, and their voice actors are actually really good. I was actually surprised, given that who's making the game, like Game Mill is making the game, and I'm like, they're kind of hit or miss. Like the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer game was really good and stayed true to the actual classic Christmas movie that it was based off of. But their Walking Dead game and the ones they did before that were like really bad. So I don't know. I feel like they kind of when they got those bad reviews for the Walking Dead game and everything, I feel like they maybe listened to what everybody
Now you
said.
cut out. Now you cut out a little bit. I couldn't hear you for a second there.
Oh, for fuck's sakes.
Maybe a connection issue. Keep going.
But anyway, so yeah, no, it just feels like they learned from their mistakes because
Did they sound like did they try to do like the same voices as the classic like voice actors from like the old like Peanuts cartoons?
no,
Like the different specials they used to
I
have, like
I don't think so. They didn't sound like that, but they definitely are little kids or are like not little kids, but I mean like young kids doing the voices. Uh, I I I mean, honestly, they don't sound as arrogant. I find that well, I mean, aside from like the characters who are supposed to sound arrogant, like Lucy or whatever the hell
Lucy,
her name is. Yeah, no, she's a total
whatever.
narcissist. Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah, whatever. Yeah, but she's very full of herself in the game, and I mean, she comes across as being full of herself, right? But
Do they
I
have a
mean,
feature that goes like wah 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 wah? Do
so
they have that?
there is no parents in the game. I've never beaten the game yet, but so far there is no parents in the game. Um, but what's really cool is that you get to explore like the inside of Charlie Brown's house and stuff like that. You can go inside it, and you can go inside the school. Um, the mission the so it's in parts, and each part is like really long. So like it's well not in parts, in chapters, and each chapter is quite long. I want to say each chapter is like at least 2 hours minimum. So it's a really long game, and each chapter deals with a different case that they're on, the kids
Oh, cool.
solving with Snoopy. And the one that I'm on now is on a ghost haunting the local theater in the game that the kids perform at.
I wonder what the first Charlie Brown game was.
I don't know. It was probably on the NES or something. But
Probably before
going
that even.
going back to Game Mill again. So their previous entry before that, which came out, they're really busy. God damn, because they released two games the exact same a week apart. Because the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer game came out, and then a week later their Charlie Brown game came out, both within a week. So they're kind of really busy with the games they're bringing out. But their Rudolph game, holy shit, the voice acting in that was spot on. Like at first I thought to myself, these sound like they don't sound like AI voices, but they sound so spot on to the original Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer movie, the Christmas
Oh,
special,
cool.
that I was like, this has to be AI. And then I went on Game Mill's YouTube channel, and I was looking at the trailer for the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer game, and I looked in the comment section, and one of the comments was from a YouTuber who's also a voice actor, and he said, "Oh, dude, I voiced like 3 characters in this game," and he was like talking about it in the chat or in the comment section, and I was like, "Oh shit!" So, and then I delved more into it, and then I realized that Game Mill literally hired all of their voice actors off of YouTube. So
Uh,
they literally found people who could do spot on impressions of these characters from the original Christmas movie and then put them in the game.
what do you think
And,
about that?
huh?
What do you think about that? Do you think it's cool? You think it's dumb? You think you don't care?
Hiring YouTubers to voice in video games. So, I mean, it's been done countless times before. Keep in mind that the Final Fantasy VII Remake, a lot of the voice actors that are in that game are literally YouTubers.
I mean, the
But
reason I ask is because, like, I a lot of times I've heard voice actors say, like, people think like a voice acting means like doing impersonation, but that's not what it is at all, and there's a lot of acting involved, and et cetera, et cetera. So just because someone can do an impression doesn't necessarily mean they're a good voice actor. So I'm
well, no,
wondering,
of course. But I mean, it's different if you're just. I mean, there you have to do when you're doing voice acting, you have to be the character. You can't just
right?
be reading papers and just putting on a voice because you have to have expression and everything like that. And
Right.
so I do think that they did a good job uh,
Okay.
with the Rudolph game. It's not just simply them reading lines and sounding like the character. I mean, they're doing a really good job. I mean, they had me convinced that it was AI voices that were like taken from the original movie. So, I mean, if it was able to convince me of that, I I'll show you a little bit of it after the stream if you're down. I'll show you quickly a few minutes of it and you can see what it's like. I don't intend to stream it until closer to Christmas, obviously, but I can show you those two games, the Charlie Brown one and the other one, quickly, and you can see what they're like. And then from there, you and I will just hop onto your channel and we'll I'll watch your Atari stream.
All right.
But
Cool.
oh, speaking of which, that's a good spot for me to promote Stu's game reviews for tonight. He's doing a stream of an Atari game that's not even out yet. So if you're interested in Atari, he's streaming a game that is not even available yet. So that'll be tonight on his channel.
And I will talk more about that shortly. But first, I did look up what the first Peanuts game was on, and you want to take
Oh,
a guess?
I no, I wouldn't know. I would say so. If I'm gonna guess, I'd say maybe Commodore 64 or something like that.
That's an extremely good guess, but it's not accurate.
Okay.
The
All
actual
right.
answer, first of all, there was a game on Atari 2600, believe it or not, like in 1983, called Snoopy and the Red Baron, and there were
Okay.
several games on the Commodore in 1984. So so you're off by 1 year, but actually both those are wrong because there was a Nintendo Game and Watch for Snoopy in 1982, apparently. So I
Oh,
mean,
all
I don't
right.
know if that counts, but it was one of those handheld. I don't know. I say it doesn't count because it's not a console. It's like just an individual
Yeah.
game. So I'm not sure
I
if that counts or not, but probably does.
So what would be the first console or PC game of the Peanuts game? Because
That would be
aside from handheld.
The Atari 2600 Snoopy and the Red Baron,
Okay.
which it's sort
Now
of hard to find because it came out
you
like right before the
you
crash
know
hit.
what's funny is they have the Red Baron in the new. Peanuts game.
Oh, cool.
So they do make references to all the different games and stuff like that. Um, that's the one thing I like about there. I mean, that's the one thing I like about games in general. Modern games where they don't forget their roots. Like, there's a scene in Indiana Jones and the Great Circle when you're in Cairo, or not Cairo, when you're in Egypt, in Giza in Egypt. There's a guy selling fine leather jackets, and it is totally a reference to Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. And you go up to him and he's like, sir, I am selling these fine leather jackets. Are you interested, sir? And then Indy says something like, I feel like I've been here before, or something like that. And I'm like, oh my god, that is such a good reference. But it's like, I don't know if modern day gamers would even clue in on what that was a reference to.
Oh
Because
no.
I guarantee you that a lot of them have never even played Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis. But I was like, damn, that's so cool that they did that. Because they could have just walked over it and been like, oh, that game doesn't exist. But they didn't. And so
It's
I
funny
really,
actually. That thing actually is not originally from Fate of Atlantis. It was from the previous LucasArts Indiana Jones game, the Indiana Jones Last Crusade, the graphic adventure. There's a whole like part where you are trying to infiltrate a castle that's like filled with Nazis, and you can try to fight your way through it. Basically, you can't win more than one fight because they're too tough.
okay,
If you dialogue them the right way, you can get through everything. So one of the options in a bunch of places, I'm selling these fine leather jackets. Like it doesn't work with one of the guys, but different guys like, oh really? Like how much is it? And then he actually pays you money, and then you tell him he'll deliver the jacket later or something like that. And then you can like have extra money or something something like that. But anyway, yeah. And then they took it from there. They did it not only in Fate of Atlantis, but I think they did it in a bunch of other LucasArts games
they
too.
did. There is actually a scene there. So there's one part in Full Throttle where you're going up to this one guy. It's like this redneck character. I can't even remember his name. It's like Cletus or some shit like that. And he stole like the side character's blowtorch, and you have to get it back. And you just knock on the door, and what you're supposed to do is just knock on the door. He comes up and answers the door, and then you kick the door in to knock him out, and then go inside his trailer. But what you can do is you can actually knock on the door and just talk to him for a bit. And one of the lines of dialogue you can choose is, "Hey, I'm selling these fine leather jackets," and it's like, oh my god. All right.
What does he say? Probably nothing.
Uh, what does the guy say in
Yeah.
response?
Yeah.
Probably something like, "I don't need fine leather jacket." I don't remember, but it's probably something like, "I don't need fine leather jackets," or something. But it's like, why would Ben Throttle, who's dressed like a biker, just go up to like some random guy and knock on his trailer and be like, "Hi, I'm selling these fine leather jackets." It's like, okay.
You know what I remember the most about that game, by the way? Like it's like in my head forever, basically. This part that goes, the population is greatly decreased. Remember this? And the odds are greatly increased that
Yes.
one day I'll get a chance to kiss your lips. Do do do
Yeah, that's
do.
that's the song that guy that I was just talking about listens to in his trailer.
Yeah, it's like in the background, and like I was
Yeah.
stuck, and I think I couldn't figure out to kick the door open. And that guy, if it's that same guy, I think that guy's actually played by Mark Hamill, the guy inside the trailer. I'm not sure if it's the same guy or not, but in any case, like that's all. It was in the
I
background.
don't
Like
think Mark Hamill played him. Mark Hamill played a character in the bar. So there's one part where you end up at the bar, and you can play a knife game with some random dude. And if you win the knife game, he like anyway. That guy is played by Mark Hamill.
mm.
Mark Hamill only played like two or three roles in that game.
Did
I
he
mean,
play Rip Burger
obviously his
also?
main role was
Rip Burger
as
or
Ripburger,
Corey?
Adrian Ripburger, yeah,
Yeah, the
and
bad guy, right?
yeah, and Ripburger just sounds like Joker. I'm sorry, every time he does like a villain voice, it's always like hello. It's like like why
Wait,
does
didn't
he
Rip Burger
sound like?
didn't Rip Burger have like a really deep voice? I don't. Maybe I'm not remembering
There's
it.
parts of it where he sounds like Joker though. There's like one part where like what's her name? I can't even remember her name. The
Maureen,
female
Maureen,
character.
Maureen.
What?
More
Maureen, yeah.
every
Where
time I smell asphalt, I think of Maureen.
yes, so Maureen, where she's like, her friend, the high pitched girl's voice. I can't remember her name either. But anyway, she's at this scene where like Rip Burger kills Maureen's father,
Yeah, that's
and
screwed up.
yeah, and then they notice that she's taking pictures of them killing the father, and
All right.
Ripburger looks up at her and goes, "She's got a camera," but he says it like Joker, and he's like, "Go get the camera from her," and
That's funny.
I'm like, okay, so he's doing Joker there, and it's like, so it feels like he has trouble with sticking to a specific voice because inevitably all of his voices just come back as sounding like Joker. I mean, even when he was in the original Flash 1990s live action series and he played the Trickster, dude, he just sounded like the Joker. He
Yeah,
literally just sounded like the Joker the entire time. And it's funny because like the casting director of Batman the Animated Series literally said that he cast him as the Joker after watching that episode of The Flash, where he was like, "Damn, Mark Hamill plays such a good villain." And then he's like, "We need to have him as Joker. He would be perfect for the role."
which villain was he on? Was he on the Flash?
He's
Who
in
did he play?
he's in the new Flash as well as the Trickster, but I've never seen it.
Oh, the
But
Trickster. Okay, makes
yeah, but
sense.
he's
Okay.
also in the original Flash, which starred John Wesley Shipp as the Flash, and
Oh,
so he
really?
was in he was in that one as the Trickster.
But that
He
was
was in
live.
it.
That was live action. He was live action.
Yes,
Oh, I didn't know
yes,
that.
yes.
Oh
The live
wow, I had
action
no
Flash.
idea.
You didn't know there was a live action Flash
No,
series in the 90s?
obviously I knew there was a live action Flash. I didn't know that Mark Hamill was in it.
Yes, he was in it more than once actually as the Trickster.
You know, because when that show came out when I was younger, I remember I tried to watch it a couple times, and like he was hardly the Flash at all. He was remember he was supposed to be Wally West or Barry Allen, I forget. Like most of the
Barry
time,
Allen.
and I got bored of it, so I was just like, whatever. So I never actually really went back and
You
watched it.
might have watched just you might have watched just some weird episode because like 90% of the time I have that series on DVD. 90% of the time he was the Flash. Now that series was actually really well done because the creators of that series wanted to go for a Tim Burton-esque style. So a lot of the live action segments and stuff like that, all of the segments in that, where if you watch it, you'll begin to see that it's very similar in style to the first Batman movie, like the Tim Burton Batman movie. It's very similar in style. It has Danny Elfman doing the musical score for it as well for that TV series. So it honestly feels like Batman.
Hi
And to the
guys,
point where like
just send me an invitation in the PS to try if I can join.
we tried that last time and it never worked, Lewis. I don't want to waste time trying to do that again. Um, yeah, I don't know what. So it sounds to me like with PlayStation, if you don't have a PlayStation, so how the PlayStation app works, and I found this out recently, is when you make an account on the PlayStation app, you then need to verify that account through PlayStation, which is really stupid because I don't know why you can't just verify the account through like email or something like that. But Sony wants you to verify the account through PlayStation, meaning that after you make an account on the PS app, you then have to log onto a PlayStation and verify that account. And in order to, and that's the only way you'll be able to join parties and voice chats is if you go on a PlayStation account, verify your account through the PlayStation app, then you'll be able to join parties. It's really stupid. A lot of people don't like that and think it's really dumb, and they want Sony to fix that. Um, but as it stands right now, that's the only way to be able to join voice parties on PlayStation. Is to verify your account through a PlayStation console. So if you
That's
know of
annoying.
anybody who has a PlayStation console, you could temporarily activate your account through their PlayStation and then deactivate it, and you'll still be able to have access to, you know, the voice chat and everything.
That's super annoying.
It's really stupid.
Well, anyway, we sorry you couldn't. Sorry it's not working out, but
We'll figure
still,
it out,
still,
I'm sure.
still, still participate in the chat, and
Oh
we got
yeah,
to hear what you say.
absolutely. Anything you have to say, please, by all means, talk about it in the chat, and we will definitely talk about it as well. But yeah, no.
Well, I
So
told you it was something else. Well, PlayStation verification sucks.
oh, it
He can
absolutely,
talk, but your bot can still talk for him.
exactly. You can have a nice feminine voice, Lewis. I'm sure.
That's a nice feminine voice. I don't know what that is.
Personally, I wanted the voice to be like, you can't really choose the voice on PlayStation Bot. I kind of wanted it to be like Stewie Griffin or something like that. It'd be really funny. But nah, you can't really choose the voice you get. It's just this flat, monotone woman who can barely pronounce words half the time. Um,
So one thing I wanted to also mention, I think I told you about this, but not like on the podcast, is that in the latest issue of PC Gamer, there was reviews of some of the games you were playing. I don't think I mentioned. I said that to you, but I don't think I said it on the podcast. Did I?
yeah, and they trashed on one of them or something.
Well,
You
they
said?
gave the Metal Gear Solid remake an 87, and they said it was a very good game. But they gave the Mafia game like a 45. They basically they didn't say like it was horrible, but they said like it wasn't up to the standards of other Mafia games, and they felt that like the story was too obvious and the knife fights were too repetitive and like
See,
just.
okay, well, and again, we're all
It doesn't mean
entitled
they're
to.
right. I'm just
We're
I'm just telling you that because like I think it's interesting that you're playing some of these games that are just came out and they're being covered in the media. So I found it interesting. That's all.
Yeah, so I've there's a lot of people actually across social media who say that it's the worst game in the series and that anybody who worked on the game needs to hang themselves. You know, the typical things that modern day gamers say, like go kill yourself, you made a shit game. Because that's 90% of what happens nowadays. Gamers just threaten the game developer if they make a shit game. And you know, any game developer that makes a shit game in this day and age deserves to die, at least according to gamers. I don't agree with that, obviously, because that's stupid. Who even says? Could you imagine, like, how entitled are you that you think that? Well, it's not. You know, I had nothing to do with it. Do you know how to make video games? No, I don't. So what gives you the right to then threaten a game developer's life who spent months, maybe
I
even
mean,
years on a
honestly,
game?
there's no point even commenting on that because it's just obviously completely stupid and ridiculous.
Yeah, but I
And
see it
like,
more and more. It's such a common thing
but
for these
they were
idiot
literally
gamers to
just.
just trash on games because
But they
they
were
don't like
literally
them.
just saying like some stupid thing because they're idiots. I mean, like,
Right. But
dude,
anyway, so going back to what I was saying, so a lot of these gamers were like
At
trashing on
least
the
we
game.
don't have that
And
kind of a hate in your channels, guys, except the government lol.
no, I don't. No, I don't. I will make fun of certain games. Like I've been making fun of Suganohi while I've been playing it, those Japanese horror games, because I find that they're kind of funny. I mean, they're good horror games, but some of the logic in them is kind of weird. So I do tend to. Well, I mean, you guys know you guys have watched my live streams. I do tend to make fun a lot of the games that I play, but
oh,
I do it out of fun. I don't do it out of hatred because I don't hate. Any, I've never I've never actually bought a game that I've never liked. And I find that really funny because I've talked to a bunch of friends and they're like, "Oh, I bought this game and I can't even stand it. I wish I never
wait,
bought it."
you never bought a game that you didn't like in advance, you mean, or you never ever bought a game and you were like, "Wow, this game sucks."
Uh, so I've never bought a game that I thought to myself, Jesus Christ, I can't believe I wasted money on this.
Never?
No, no,
Wow.
every single game I've ever bought, I've absolutely loved.
Is that because like you're inherently like are easy to please, or because like you just really
You
don't have a
only
reason?
get annoyed with certain Paw Patrol.
He doesn't buy
But
Paw
Lewis,
Patrols.
that why you even bring that up? Because I don't even play Paw Patrol games. That you just now you're just bringing shit up to
Be funny.
act like
Be funny.
fucking Chase.
Be
Yeah.
funny.
All right. Yeah. But anyway,
No, but seriously, like, is it a matter of like do you do a ton of research beforehand so you know what
I
you're
do
getting
not.
into?
That's the thing, is that I don't like to spoil myself. So like as an example, with the case of Silent Hill F, I didn't even watch the damn trailer. It's just I don't like to spoil the game for myself, so I tend to avoid. There's been the odd time where I will be like, oh, I can't, the suspense is killing me, I need to know what
Didn't you
this is
play
gonna be like.
428 Shibuya Scramble though?
Yeah, I own it. I don't dislike it. So it's hard to explain with that game. It is weird, but at the same time, it's kind of unique. I don't know.
I
I
don't want to
nothing.
see like beep and then it would appear low.
Beep
I know it wasn't a good game, but it
Beetlejuice.
wasn't a bad game either. But like I got the sense that you thought it dragged on a
Did
little
you
too long.
hear how my bot? Oh my god. Sorry. The way my bot pronounced Beetlejuice. Oh lord. Beatelly. Beatelly
I didn't
Weiss.
hear
Beatelly Weiss. Beatelly Weiss
it.
was what it said.
That's funny.
Beatelly Weiss.
How'd it get that? That's really funny,
I
actually.
don't know, man. This bot is on crack half the time, I'm telling you.
Anyway, so the bottom line is, you believe that you never bought a game you didn't like.
No, I mean, I don't think so. I can't. All along, I'm thinking back to all the games that I've ever bought, and I feel like I've gotten great use out of every game, and I've never really. I Maybe there might have been one way back when, and I probably would have sold it right away, but I don't remember. But in recent years, no, absolutely not. Every single game I've bought, I've thoroughly enjoyed.
I don't know if I ever hated a game, but like there's definitely some games I didn't enjoy, like the Silver Case, for example. That game was pretty bad.
Uh, yeah, I know. I helped voice in it. I'm well aware.
It was
Yeah.
a bad game. I remember also like back in the day, I bought. Do you remember the game? This game, Brain Dead 13.
Yes, I have it. I still
I
have the
fucking
disc
hated
for it.
that game. I hated that game.
It
And I
well,
won't.
I
I
it
mean, it's a technical marvel, I guess, but like it
no,
wasn't
it's
fun for
not.
me at
Hold
all.
on, hold on, hold on. How is it a technical marvel when it just copied Dragon's Lair?
I know, but they did it on a PC, so it was pretty cool. But like, and there's a
Okay.
cool box.
Okay.
Whatever. I'm just saying it's cool artwork. They put a lot of work into it, but the actual game is not fun because you're just guessing what to do, and it's even worse. I mean, I don't know. Dragon's Lair, I guess, was pretty much the same, but I enjoyed Dragon's Lair, and I did not enjoy Brain Dead 13 at all. And I was like,
The
man, I can't believe they paid
the
money for this
biggest
game.
problem with Brain Dead 13 was the story was idiotic. The writing was terrible. And the voice acting, whenever there was voice acting, 90% of the time it was just sound effects.
There wasn't much of
Was
a story. It was like some idiot went into a house, and there was
Yeah,
some
he
guy
was
with
like a
like
tech
500,000 knives who tried to kill him.
he was like a tech support guy. So that they don't even mention that. So the worst part is with that game is the entire premise of the story. You have to fucking read the manual to understand it
Oh,
because
really? I
they
don't
don't
know what the name is.
they don't even yours never came with the manual. So let me tell
No,
you that
I don't think I bothered to read it. I just tried to play the game.
yeah. So the story is that he was called he's a computer tech support guy, and he was called to that house because um, somebody at that house needed help with their computer. And when he showed up, everybody there wants to kill him.
It's a freaking crazy game. Another games that I really didn't enjoy was back in the day was the Monty Python games.
Oh yeah, I have them all. Yes,
And
absolutely.
they're just completely ridiculous. I mean, like
The
that's what Monty Python is, I guess, but like they're not fun to play those games, in my opinion. It's like guessing what to do.
it depends on the game. So I didn't mind Monty
You sounded like Monty
Python.
Python just there when you made that noise. You're
Okay.
like, sorry.
Well, I don't know. All like
Exactly.
Monty Python and the Holy Grail. But
I remember
anyway,
buying that first, well, not the first one, the Holy Grail one. I was like, I'm gonna love this game because I love the movie. And then the first thing that happens when you load it up is it says no refunds. And I was like, ah, that's funny, ha ha ha. And then
yeah.
afterwards, I was like, they were freaking
Monty
serious.
Python games is like Indiana Jones and the Fate of Atlantis.
No. So
Oh, exactly.
Monty Python games were point and click adventure games, Lewis. Maybe I'll stream one of them on my channel at some point. But Yeah, I didn't mind Monty Python and the Holy Grail. They added new content into it, and the entire game was actually directed by Eric Idle, who is
Yeah, I don't know that.
one of the guys from Monty Python. So I didn't mind it. I like when you like there's like the one part in the game where you have to like get a shrubbery for the Knights Who Say Knee, and you go to shrubbery.com. They force you to go to like a shrubbery website. It's like, hello, I'm John from shrubbery.com. It's like, and it's like just this whole process where you have to like order a shrubbery online, and
There's
he's
a lot
like,
of weird things about that game.
would you like an extra shrubbery to go with your shrubbery? It's like,
What
oh,
I
okay.
remember mostly is I played it with my sister, and
Yeah.
like there was one part where you're in like some kind of house or something, and there's this guy talking to you, and then like he like tells you to bug off, and then like you hear a phone ringing, and then like you have to find where this phone is. It's on a drawer somewhere. Then you answer the phone. It's like, oh, it's me again. Like blah blah blah. It's the same guy who was just talking to you like in your face a second ago, and then the phone rings somewhere else. And like by the time I finished this whole section, I'm like losing my
That was
mind.
not Holy Grail.
Where was the other one then? Maybe it was a complete waste of
That
time.
sounds like it's the complete waste of time. Which that game was terrible. No,
The
Holy
Monty, the
Grail did
Monty
not have
Python
that. There
rage
was no
that Stu had in
phones
the
and
spy game the other day was
Must be a complete
hilarious.
waste of time, man. But it was just I don't know.
oh yeah,
I didn't enjoy it basically, and I just remember also that that Holy Grail game. It said like on the box that if you beat the game, you get to see a deleted scene from the movie, the King Brian the Wild scene. And basically, like like waited around to see this stupid scene. Like I beat the whole game, and it was like the stupidest thing I ever saw in my life. It wasn't funny at all. It was like I waited. I mean, I see why it was deleted. I waited around like just for this, basically. So whatever. It wasn't a bad game, but I didn't enjoy it. Let's put it that way. Anyway, that sounds like
if
you're
you
much more
click
a
on,
game.
so the thing is that if you click on all, there's a lot of hidden hotspots in that game, and if you click on a lot of them, there's like so many funny lines of dialogue. Um, if you just rush through Monty Python and the Holy Grail, you're missing 90% of the game.
I actually intend to play it again at some point, honestly.
Yeah.
But at the
Okay. So
time that
you
I
know
play
what?
it,
You know what? When you if you stream it on your channel, bring me on, and I'll show you all the good spots in the game and everything.
will you
Because
make
I've
all the
played that
voices
game.
and everything?
What?
You make all the voices and everything?
I'll make all
I
the
used
voice.
to I used to love that movie. I mean, I still do love that movie, but like, my when I was like a kid and my parent, I thought my parents were talking too much. They'd be like blah blah blah, and I'd be like, yes, yes, I see, you know, because like you don't see them talking
Especially
about in the
how the
movie.
spy used the machine gun in the end. She went crazy.
You ever see them talking about with it's like King Arthur goes and finds this guy Dennis, and he's talking to him about like system
Yeah.
of government or whatever, and
Yeah.
he's like King Arthur doesn't give a crap, and he starts going, he's like, yes, yes, I see, and they sort of be quiet, you know,
I
like
order you to be quiet. Yes, I know.
exactly. So I'd always
Yeah.
say yes, I see to my parents, and like they knew it meant like I thought like what they were saying was like dumb and boring, whatever. So I wasn't a good kid, I guess, but anyway. Uh, that was my experience with Monty Python. And also, my dad had it on VHS, and that's how I saw it the first time. And in the end of the movie, like basically like it ends in a really weird way, and there's like all this like 5 more minutes of just noise and like weird pictures and stuff. And then it was over, and I was like, it can't really be over. There must be more after this. And then like that was the end
Well,
of the movie. And
the
I was
ending.
like
Well,
totally
the
like
ending of the movie was that the ending of the Holy Grail. The ending of the Holy Grail was that they all got arrested.
right, exactly. They all get arrested,
Yeah.
but like then after that, it's like they basically after they arrest everybody, the police officers go to the camera and like, okay, stop filming. And they shut the camera off, and then like after that, there's like more music like there was during the intermission previously, and then like it just fades to black. It doesn't fade; it just cuts to black. And I kept thinking, and there was more tape, and I kept thinking like, if I keep watching this, there'll be more something. The movie can't end this way. It's too much of a stupid ending. There has to be something else. Little did I know it was just a stupid ending, basically. So
I mean, it's Monty Python, dude. What were you expecting?
I guess I was expecting something more than that.
Like, come on. You know what I ended up getting one year for Christmas is the complete series of Monty Python, the
Flying
Flying
Circus.
Circus on Blu-ray. And dude, did they ever touch that up beautifully? It literally looks like a modern day Blu-ray. It's so
You have it on Blu-ray?
brilliantly enhanced. Yeah, Blu-ray. Yeah, it
I have
came
it
out.
on DVD. I probably need to like upgrade it or something.
Yeah, they released a Blu-ray box set. and
Nice.
it's absolutely stunning quality, picture and sound.
That's awesome.
Um, yeah, it was. But anyway, yeah, no, I never much. I gotta be honest, I never much cared for flying circuits. I mean, I don't mind it. It's just not as good as like the Holy Grail movie, obviously. But I mean,
I mean, I
it
agree.
had some funny scenes, funny. It had some funny stuff in it. I mean, the dead parrot sketch, obviously, fucking hilarious. And wake, nudge, nudge, say no more, all that stuff. Yeah, I mean, like
My,
it had some.
my favorite one is the argument clinic. You know
Or
that
the
one?
Ministry of Funny Walks.
Well, that's good too. But you know the argument clinic? You ever see that sketch?
Oh, wasn't that the one with John Cleese and Eric Idle?
Yeah. Well, John Cleese and no, John Cleese and Michael Palin, I think.
Okay.
John Cleese is like the guy running, like working in the art. Like basically, you're paying this guy money to have an argument, and they're
Yeah.
like they're having this stupid argument, and then the time runs out, and then he's like arguing with him about the time didn't really run out, and he's like, "Sorry, I'm out to argue unless you pay." Right? It's really funny actually. It's very clever. Anyway, check out the argument clinic sketch on Monty Python's Flying Circus.
Yeah.
But should I talk about my trip this weekend to Portland Retro Gaming Expo?
Yeah, sure, man. The floor is yours.
Well, please don't let me have the entire floor because I don't know my head might get too big. So please
Listen,
jump
mate, the
in.
floor is yours, provided you mop it up afterwards. All right.
Well, anyway,
Yeah.
um, so yeah, I flew out to Portland Retro Gaming Expo, which in case people have never been there, it's in Portland, which doesn't tell you anything because it's Portland, Maine, and also Portland, Oregon. But this is Portland, Oregon. The place where you would think like it's a crazy place to go to right now because supposedly there's like all sorts of rioting in the streets and Trump is sending soldiers and stuff like that. Like I don't know what, but I didn't see any of
Oh.
that stuff when I was there, just for the record.
Hmm.
So yeah, so like I'm maybe going on somewhere, but it was not going on where I was. But in any case, they have this Portland Retro Gaming Expo every year, and it's probably the best convention, the best retro gaming convention, um, maybe that there is. Definitely, I would say in the United States. And I'm not aware of any like any significant like any ones of that size in Canada. The place is absolutely gigantic, and I think they have a really good like location. So it's in the like what they call the Pacific Northwest on the West Coast, um, and that location is pretty good because a lot of the video game companies like historically were on the West Coast, like and a lot and today there's a lot of tech companies on the West Coast as well. So a lot of developers and whatnot are in that area. Like Atari was in California, Sierra was in California.
Yeah.
I think LucasArts was like in Washington State.
So then,
Like
out of curiosity, how long has the Portland Gaming Expo been on for?
I don't know, but I think it's been going on for like 15 years or so,
Oh
but I'm
wow.
not sure.
Okay.
You should look it up and see. How long has the Portland Retro Gaming Expo been going on? 1990. Oh, wait a second. 2006.
What?
So it's
What?
like 20 years.
You
Holy
said it
crap.
like.
I read it in a funny
You
way.
said it
Well, I was
like
typing
you
it when
said
I
it like
said
you
it.
said it like Mr. Rogers over there. How long has the Portland Gaming Retro Expo been going on?
So there was something called the Northwest Classic Gaming Expo in Seattle in 2006, and then they moved it to Portland and called it Portland Retro Gaming in 2008. So it's been like over 15 years actually. It's like 17 years. I've been going for several years now. I don't
Yeah.
get to go there every single year, but I want to go every single year because it's probably the best one in terms of the guests that they have and
See, I would
also the
I would
marketplace, the
I
stuff
would
they
lo-
sell.
I would love to go to it, except I would probably get arrested by ICE by ICE agents
No,
crossing into America. Given what, dude, you know how many Canadians have been like thrown?
there were a number of Canadians there. You
No,
know, Anna Vieg, like she was there.
I didn't know
From
she was
classic,
Canadian.
yeah, she's Canadian.
Really?
Classic Gaming podcast, yeah, she was there.
I I didn't know she was Canadian. I thought she was American. Where does she live in Canada?
I think she lives like close to Vancouver, but I'm not sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
huh.
but she's Canadian. So
Okay.
It's like the Canadians walk among us. That was from that movie, Canadian Bacon. You ever see that movie?
No, but I've
I
heard of
think I
it.
mentioned it before. There
That's the
was
one with Dan
John
Aykroyd, right?
Candy.
And
Yeah,
John
Dan
Candy. Yeah,
Aykroyd, right?
you did
Both of them.
mention it on the
Yeah,
podcast
there's
already.
a part where they're talking, like they're trying to like. It's basically it's crazy if you think about it because it's about an American president who like tries to like raise his popularity by going to war with Canada.
Yeah.
So I mean, I wonder where they got that idea from. But at one point, they're like putting out this propaganda to Americans, and it's like the Canadians walk among us. Like they look like Americans, but they're really Canadians, and it's like William Shatner and like Peter Jennings are from ABC News and like a bunch of other people, and like they walk among us, and it's like you may not realize your neighbor might be Canadian, like they're infiltrating. Anyway. So
Reminds me of those old. There was like these old like commercials, are almost like from like the 1940s and 50s that our drama teacher had us watch at school a long time ago, and one of them was, "Be careful, one of your neighbors might be a gay." It's like,
what really?
oh yeah, no, it was terrible. It's
Oh
like
my god!
these people are not what they seem. It's like, oh, like it was like
Holy
really
shit!
bad, and these were real. These
I
were
thought you were gonna say a communist.
no,
My
no. I mean,
god!
there's some like that too. Don't get me wrong, but this one wasn't. This
Oh
one was
god!
like,
It's messed up, man.
hide your children. It's like, oh, okay. I don't think we didn't need to do that, but fair enough. you
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 know,
go
it's
off.
interesting. This is like the 40s, you say,
I think
or
so.
something
40.
like
You can
that.
probably find them on YouTube. I mean, yeah, it's
I mean,
they're
the
really
Nazis
old,
like
cringy
the
videos.
Nazis like mostly like their biggest favorite target was the Jews, but they also went after a number of other groups they didn't like, including gay people.
Yeah,
So it's there's always people that get persecuted, unfortunately, but that's fucking bullshit. Anyway, I'm sorry.
yeah. Oh, absolutely.
So back to Portland Retro
Yeah,
Gaming Expo.
yeah.
So it's a great show. I would highly encourage anybody that ever has a chance to go if you're in the area, if you're able to make it there. I mean, obviously, for me coming from the East Coast, it was not like it was a bit of a journey. Luckily, I bought the tickets, like the flight airline tickets, like very far in advance. Like I basically bought
You
them
waited
like
the
now for
last
next
day,
week.
didn't you?
I
Which is
did. So
kind of
yeah,
confusing. Like, why didn't I see?
that's
Whenever I
that's
go to conventions, I don't go on the last day. I go
so
for the entire.
in an ideal world, like I would go for the whole weekend.
You
Um,
just couldn't.
I just couldn't,
Oh,
right?
I gotcha.
So like if I could, obviously, I mean that's what I did for the Adventure Game Hotspot convention. Is I got there like on Friday or Thursday night or whatever, and I stayed for the
Yeah,
whole week.
stayed for the whole thing.
That's the best thing to do because there's
Of
also
course.
panels and everything else. So actually, there was a Sierra panel on a Saturday that I missed that Josh Mandel moderated, and it
Okay.
was like Al Lowe, Maury and Corey Cole, um, George Sanger, the Fat Man, who never freaking worked at Sierra, by the way. It's a separate
Yeah, I know. I was
story.
going. Didn't he did more work for like Interplay and stuff like that.
He did he did work for like Trilobite. He did the Seventh Cast and 11th Hour. He did work for Interplay, I'm sure. He did work, I
Yeah,
think, for
he
LucasArts.
did the soundtracks for Star Trek 25th Anniversary and Judgment Rights.
Oh, did he?
Yes.
Oh, that's awesome. He is a very cool guy. But anyway, he did not work for Sierra. And he was on the Sierra panel, and I actually Portland Retro Gaming Expo went on Facebook and they like advertised the panel, and I responded to their Facebook post and I said, when did George Sanger work for Sierra? And they responded and said, oh, he did a lot of soundtracks for them. And then I was just like, I didn't want to respond because I didn't want to be an idiot, but I was like, okay. And then I saw him at the convention. I was like, did you ever work for Sierra? He's like, no. I don't think he ever did like a single thing for Sierra, but someone must have told him that he did. And somehow they put this panel together. And the other person that was on it was Metal Jesus. Metal Jesus Rocks from
Yeah,
the.
I subscribe to him. He's a really good dude.
He's a nice guy. The only thing I will say, well, a couple things about him. One is he has a very big channel. He has like close to 1 million subscribers. I
Yeah.
think it's like 700,000 or 800,000. He does a lot of PC. Well, not a lot, but he does a decent amount of PC gaming content. And he has a pretty decent sized collection as well. And he used to work at he actually did used to work at Sierra in technical support, like back in the day before he had a YouTube channel or anything like that. So it was sort of funny because on Corey and Lori Cole's live stream last week, they were listing who's on the panel, and they're like, this guy Mel Jesus, I don't know him, never met him, but seems like a nice guy. I don't know if there was anybody else, but hey, there was a Sierra panel that I missed, unfortunately. But yeah, I couldn't be there the whole time, so I
How
went
do
just
they not? Hold
pretending.
on, that doesn't make any sense. How do they not know him when he's been in like some of their games? That it's.
Metal
I
Jesus?
You realize that he's a former Sierra employee, right?
No, I said it, but he was technical support. I think he actually did it. He was in the game Shivers 2.
he was one of the band members.
Right, but that wasn't their. The Coles didn't make that game, I don't think. So they probably wouldn't
No,
have
that
noticed
was
that.
made by oh god, what's her name?
Lorelai Shannon.
No, I don't remember her name off the top of my head now. No, Lorelai Shannon didn't do that. Uh, I can't remember.
Uh,
I do know. eh, Yeah, I don't.
I'm
Yeah,
looking
I
it up.
yeah. Look it up because I
Somebody I
it
never heard of.
yeah
Producer
that
Wendy Albee.
yeah. There you go.
Um, nope,
So
I don't know who that is. But anyway, yeah. So they didn't know him regardless. But I'm sure it was a good panel, and I'm pretty sure it's available online, or it will be. So I'm going to try to check that out. But I got there on Sunday morning, and I spent a lot of time just walking. Well, actually, one thing I did that was stupid is I rented a car. That was a mistake because there was no freaking parking by the time I got there. Like all the parking lots were full, and I had to drive around for a while trying to find a parking spot. So
oh
it was just
shit, I hate when that
brutal.
happens.
Yeah, I was like, fuck, I should have taken an Uber. But anyway, it, once I got inside, it was like the amount of booths and stuff is crazy, and it's mostly like just people selling whatever stuff they happen to have on hand, but there's also a bunch of indie developers and publishers that are trying to sell like physical copies of their games and stuff. So I did. I mean, I used to always, and I still did. I used to always go to the Atari Age booth and buy like some of their latest stuff because I've streamed some of their games on this channel,
Yeah,
and there's some of the modern Atari games that they make are really good. They are
yeah.
not independent anymore. They're bought by Atari, so
Okay.
they're and actually it's funny. I was wearing a television T-shirt, and Atari also bought a television, so I was like, do I get a discount because I'm advertising for you guys now? And they were like, no, sorry, but I
That's
did
funny.
buy 3 games from Atari Age. And then I also went to Intellivision Revolution, which is not associated with Atari. It's basically a homebrew company that they make Intellivision games, and I wanted to support them, so I picked up a game from them, the best game that looked like they had, which is called Mermaid Enchanted Ocean, which we'll see if it's any good or not. But
Hmm.
I like to support indie developers, indie publishers,
Of
especially
course.
people that are making physical media. So I did that. And then, after walking around for a while, I encountered the good folks at Audacity Games. That's related to the game that I hope to stream tonight.
Hmm.
If I can get my act together after this podcast and do it. But this is three gentlemen who basically were all developers on Atari and other consoles back in the day. One of them is David Crane, who he should need no introduction, but just in case you don't know who David Crane is, probably the most famous games that he made were Pitfall 1 and 2 for the Atari.
Hmm.
He made a lot of other Atari 2600 games. He also made the Ghostbusters game that everyone makes fun of. Although the
Wait,
original version,
what do you mean? Like the? Hold on. Okay, not the congratulation one, obviously.
no, that one, but not that one, because the original
What?
version was for the Commodore 64. That's the one he made. I don't think he was involved in the NES port, which is like horrible.
The
Um,
NES port was made in Japan. That's why it had so many spelling errors. That's why it
oh,
doesn't
was
make
it?
any.
Well,
Yeah,
it's a
I'm
port
pretty
from the
sure.
Commodore game, and the Commodore game is actually quite good. I streamed on this channel, not this channel. I streamed on my channel, Stu's Game Reviews, the PC Junior version of it, which is like just almost as good as the Commodore version. The only difference is it doesn't say Ghostbusters. Oh, so like like in the NES when it goes Ghostbusters. In the Commodore game, there's like a song in the beginning with a bouncing ball, and you're supposed to sing along, and it goes like do 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 do, and there's a words there with a ball bouncing on it. And you're supposed to sing it. And when it gets to
Okay.
Ghostbusters, it goes Ghostbusters, and it's pretty good actually. So like
Okay.
anyway, the NES version's horrible, but David Crane made the
Yeah.
original one. And the other game that he's also pretty famous for is A Boy and His Blob. Those are probably the three games he's the most famous for, I think. But he's made a ton of other games
There's
as well.
actually a remake of A Boy and His Blob on
There is on
PlayStation.
Wii, on Wii,
What?
right?
No, it's on PlayStation as well. I've seen it.
Oh, I played it on Wii, and it was really good actually.
Oh.
I think it was made by Way Forward.
Okay. Yep. Makes
Yeah,
sense. I have a lot of their games. I mean, Way Forward helped with the. Didn't they do the Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Pretty sure that is them.
They're a good developer. I like them a lot.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Um, but so David Crane is one of the guys. The other two people are Gary Kitchen and David Crane was one of the founders of Activision. Also, that's another claim to fame.
So Gary Kitchen, I obviously know because not personally, obviously, but I know of him thanks to streaming the Atari 50th anniversary because there was a lot of interviews with him on that.
Oh yeah, that's right. I think David and Gary together were like doing these interviews. Like for the most part, like they were both together and talking. And one of them was talking, and the other wasn't talking. David is like an older, like a taller guy with a beard,
Yep.
and anyway, so Gary Kitchen made a ton of stuff, including Gary Kitchen's Game Maker. But in my opinion, like probably what he's best known for is Keystone Capers. You ever play that game? For
I
Atari
don't.
2600. It's like a game where like you're a cop inside a shopping mall, and you're trying to catch a crook who's like basically trying to run up the stairs and escape, and you have to like chase him through this place with like all these obstacles, and you have to jump over and duck under and whatever else. It's actually a really fun game.
Yeah, I don't
Definitely,
think so. I don't think that's a part of the Atari collection.
it's
I
probably
would have
not because
remembered.
it was an Activision game. Yeah, some of the best
Yeah.
games for Atari were from Activision. So this, you know, the story behind Activision's founding, or if you don't, for the viewers, like very quickly, the short version is the four guys that founded Activision was like four developers from Atari plus a business guy, Jim Levy,
Yeah.
and they were doing work for Atari, and they found out that the four of them were collectively responsible for like half of Atari's profits. And Atari was making because the games that they made were like the top selling games, and Atari was making like money hand over fist, and they basically said like we want to get like some extra money or some profit sharing or something like that. And the guy at Atari, the head of Atari, basically told them, "You guys are like just as important as the people that put together the boxes. Like if you don't want to do it, we'll find somebody else essentially."
Yeah.
And so they all quit and they went to found Activision. And the reason why they called it Activision, well, one of the reasons was that the word Activision came before Atari alphabetically. And back then, like, the Yellow Pages was a thing, and like you're looking things up, like video game companies, they wanted their company name to come first before Atari, which I think is interesting.
So it
And
was more a case of greed then.
well, what do you mean greed? Because they wanted to make money?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like it, I don't know. It just seems.
I mean, they wanted to get paid for their work. I mean, like, I
Yeah.
don't think you necessarily realize, but like Atari was making something like, don't quote me on this, but like $400 million a year.
Oh, I can believe it. I
And these
mean,
guys are probably getting paid like, 25 grand a year or something like that.
and nowadays Activision isn't really. A lot of people don't like Activision.
Right. But it's a completely different company than it was when
Yeah.
they founded
Well,
it.
of course.
Originally, the premise of Activision was we want to give the developers credit for their games because and make them into the stars. So like well, that wasn't only Activision. I mean, EA did something similar, but like at Atari, it was for like basically they gave no credit to the developers. They didn't have like on the box or anything, and you weren't allowed to put your name in the credits or anything like that. So like at Activision, basically on all the boxes and all the manuals and all, it was like the game by so and so. So like Activision is the publisher, but the game is by this guy. They tried to give credit to the developers. So I think that's pretty cool. But anyway, so Activision was before Atari in the book, and then they made a couple of other companies, like people that broke off from Activision, like some people made Accolade, which is even that's ACC instead of ACT, so that's even before Activision in the
Okay.
phone book. That's how some of these names they came up with. And now the current name for this company is Audacity Games, so it's also with an A. I assume there's some relation to that. But David Crane, Gary Kitchen, and Dan Kitchen. Dan Kitchen, I think, is Gary's younger brother, and he also was an Atari developer back in the day, but he started a little bit later. One of the Atari games he made was a game called Crackpots. And he also made some other stuff before that, and after he has a lot of game credits actually as well. So all three of them have been making new games for Atari 2600, and some of these people, I would say probably David Crane is particularly, but not only him, like are real like wizards with the hardware. Like they probably know the hardware better than anybody else there is. So like now, freed from the restrictions of how much like a RAM card, RAM on a cartridge costs or whatever else, they can make games that really actually take full advantage of the hardware like you never saw before. So they've already made like a few games. Their, I believe, fourth game just is coming out tomorrow. It's called Rescue from Poseidon's Gate by David Crane, and you can look at the trailer, but I hope to stream this game later today. So the game is officially coming out tomorrow. It's being released at noon Pacific tomorrow. So that's October 22nd, 2025. We're watching this after the fact. And you can go online to their website and buy it. But at the show, they were actually selling physical copies. So I picked up a physical copy, and hopefully we'll stream it tonight. And I'll show the box and the manual and everything else. It looks great, by the way. Just the packaging and everything else is so professional. But the game itself is also very cool. It's like one of those things which is like easy to like pick up and hard to master.
Okay.
And I also found out something else.
So wait a minute. How do you know? Have you played it before, or did you try it at the convention?
I tried it at the convention.
Okay.
I also played it a little bit earlier today.
Okay.
So, but one thing else that's also super cool that I didn't even know, because, so like, when you buy a game from them, like if you buy the cheapest, like the lowest price version, you just get the cartridge and the box and the manual. And I should say just, because it's great, and you can put in your old Atari 2600 or 7800 and you can play it.
Yeah.
If you buy like a collector's edition, it also comes with a ROM for an emulator. And the way they do it, by the way, is the ROMs are keyed to one person. So if somebody copies it and pirates it, they'll know who it was. And they can theoretically go after that person or whatever, I don't know.
That's actually pretty smart.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So like so those ROMs you can play like that. And then there's all there's QR codes built in so you can do high scores and things like that. But one thing that they're doing which is super cool is that back in the day, Activision used to have patches for their games. So if you like played a game and like not all of them, but most of their games, it would say in the manual like if you get 50,000 points, take a picture of your TV screen and send it into Activision, and we will we'll basically give you a patch that shows you're a member of the Cool People Club or whatever. And am I back in the party? I think I'm not. Hold on a second. There we go.
Back in the party.
Then, so what I didn't know, because they come with these ROM things, like I didn't even actually open any of the ones I had before. I was just playing off the ROMs, and I'm stupid. I never actually opened any of them because now that I opened this one, I see how nice the manual is and all that other stuff. But what I also didn't know, and they told me this at the convention, is they also are making patches. So if you play one of these games with these guys, it'll tell you like if you get like 50,000 points. Scan the QR code and upload it to our website, and we will send you a patch in the mail that says you've done this achievement. They're carrying on
patch as in an actual patch. Now I understand what you're saying.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I didn't mean like a software patch. Like an actual, like...
what?
No, an actual iron-on patch.
Yeah. I got you.
Or whatever. It's super cool. It's really... And I saw the patches they had at the thing. And, anyway, so... The game looks really cool. I encourage people to check it out and check out Audacity games in general. And like I said, hopefully I will stream this game later today. So I'll take a breath there because I feel like I've been talking for a while.
No,
I
you're
want to say
fine,
about the
man. No,
convention,
you're
but
absolutely fine. I mean, you're the co-host on this podcast, so you are more
no, I
than
know. I'm just, I'm
entitled.
just, I'm just running out of gas. So like talking for like
Oh,
for a half hour
you're just
straight.
excited, man. You got a new game. You're excited to play it. It's good.
I, I am very excited. So yeah.
Yeah.
So I played. That's a really cool game. And then I walked around and I checked out the rest of the stuff there. I saw some other people I know, like my friend John Hancock. Check out his channel if you haven't done that. But he's much bigger than our channels, but he's a really good guy.
Yeah,
And
I've tuned into a few of his live streams. He's
he's
pretty
a really
chill.
good guy.
Yeah, he is.
And there like people there from the video game, not the video, what's it called, the National Video Game Museum in Texas. They were there. They had a
Hmm.
booth. They were selling a bunch of stuff. That was pretty cool. And I also went to a panel on Sunday afternoon, which was a panel about music. And like it was like, I don't know if it wasn't Sierra specifically, but most of the people on the panel were from Sierra. So Allo was on that panel, who, he's famous for Leisure Suit Larry, but he also was the first musician basically that Sierra hired. He was a music teacher, and
Jazz.
they
Yeah,
hired
he's a jazz musician
he
teacher.
plays
Yeah.
saxophone. Yeah, they hired him to do like games, but also to do the music in their games.
Yep.
And then the other people that were on the panel were Mark Siebert, who was, I think, Sierra's musical director, that they like the first real music employee they hired, and then Ken Allen, who was another guy that Mark hired, and I think Ken is the guy, if I remember correctly from the panel, who made the iconic Sierra startup song, which when they first said
Music.
it, I was
Yeah.
like, huh? What are you talking about? But it's the one that goes like, duh.
Da, 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 da. Yeah, I
Well,
know. I know. Yeah, I know.
I'm not
Yeah.
saying it for you. I'm saying it for everybody else. Du, 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 du,
Jeez.
du. I didn't do it very well,
Anyway,
but um,
now that our ears have stopped bleeding, no, all right.
and then George Sanger, the Fat Man, was also on it,
Yeah.
and also Neil
You,
Grandstaff.
yeah, I got to tell you something. So quickly, when I was younger, and I didn't understand why he was called the Fat Man, so I always thought all along, I'm like, Jesus, he must be really fat.
He's not fat at all.
No, well, I
He's
don't. I
still
don't
in
think
good
it's
shape.
supposed to be fat as in fat. I think it was supposed to be fat as in FAT.
I think it was always like a joke, but I'm not really sure because I
But
think that
I think it's
predated.
in reference to like fat files, like as in game related. I don't think it
Oh,
like
maybe.
yeah, I don't think it has anything to do with him being fat or overweight or anything like that. I don't think it was ever that.
I have no idea actually. It's a good question.
Yeah. Well, it's not even a
But
question, but
well, for me it's a question now. But
okay.
he was on the panel. He was he's a very entertaining guy. And then Neil Grandstaff, who another
Yep.
Sierra musician who did the
I know who
music
he
for
is.
like
Yep.
Pepper's Adventures in Time.
Yep.
You always think like I'm saying something just for you, like as
You
if
are,
like
damn it.
I'm not. I'm saying it for
I
all the
know.
listeners.
I know.
And
I'm
then
just messing with you.
Playmert. I'm not sure you pronounce his last name. The Space
Said
Quest
it right the second time.
historian, Playmert.
Yep.
He was the moderator, and he did a good job. So
Of
that was a
course.
really fun panel, um, and I got to see a lot of people there because a lot of my friends came and hang out at that panel. And then went to the rest of the convention a little bit. I checked out the FMV museum.
Did you go with your family or did you just go by yourself?
It was just me. I've gone in the past. My wife went with me one year. I don't think I've ever taken my son to this one because it's a little far and like it's expensive when you start adding another plane ticket or whatever
Yeah.
else. So I usually take them to the local ones. But I did one year take my wife because she wanted to see sort of like what the hubbub was about. I think
Did
she was
she
just sort
actually
of
like it or did she find it too boring?
I think neither. I think she was just like happy that to be included, but like she didn't really get it. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
It's like it's not her scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I went to check. They had this. So Roberta Vaughan, our friend who passed
Yeah.
away this year
Yeah.
at a young age, she had this. She was involved in a lot of these conventions in terms of setting up panels and stuff like that. And
Yep.
she had a dream to basically make
An
the
FMV
FMV
museum.
museum,
Yep.
correct.
Yep.
And so a bunch of people got together and did an FMV museum, FMV full motion video games exhibit at
See,
the
well, here's the thing.
convention.
Here's the thing, and I just found this out tonight. Actually, is that 99% of that exhibit was done by her brother.
I think a lot of it was her games that they
Yes.
actually
So he
found or
he came
whatever.
up with a lot of it, and he was talking. He did a complete walkthrough video on his Facebook page, showing off. I linked it on my Facebook, so you can see it on there. By the way, Stu, if you want to look at it at some point. But yeah, basically he did a walkthrough of the entire museum, showing off all the exhibits and everything. And in the video, he talked about how a lot of the work for that was done by him, and
Oh,
he was really happy with how everything turned out. I mean, he had a lot of help from other people too. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, he said that this is. He says in the video that this is far beyond what Roberta would have wanted. She wanted something more basic, and he said that she would have been so proud with what they came up with and how it actually looked like an actual bloody museum of FMV games and everything. And there was like
that's
so
really
much
cool.
detail and everything. They had like they actually got he was showing off one of the things that they had in the exhibit was Chris Jones's actual directing chair that he used when he made the Tex Murphy games.
Really?
Yeah, they had his
Where'd they
director's
get that
chair there.
from?
He mentions it in the video, but I don't remember. But and they had the original Myst books that were used in the actual game. They had so much stuff that, and it's not like I mean that kind of stuff obviously wasn't owned by Roberta Vaughan, but
But
it
still, I
was a
mean,
lot of it was donated by the actual game companies. So my understanding of it is I'm pretty sure he himself, or maybe he had some help, contacted a lot of these game developers who worked on FMV games. He's like, "Yo, we're putting together this, you know, FMV museum in Roberta's honor. Would you be interested in donating some stuff?" And they're like, "Ah, absolutely, of course," because
that's real cool.
everybody loved Roberta Vaughn. Like everywhere she went, she made so many friends, and it's because of her personality. The fact that she never judged people, she never talked down to people, she always spoke to people on their level, and she always treated people with the utmost respect, oftentimes treating them better than how she treated herself. And so she was always like um I don't know, she was just so perfect. I don't know how to describe her other than to say that she was amazing. And um it's not a surprise that to me that the entire community came together like they did, in honor of her memory, because everybody just loved her.
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty amazing, and I'll talk about the concert in a minute. But there was also, I forgot, there was an FMV panel as well on Saturday. I think I missed it. Like uh, uh, what's his name? Paul Morgan Stetler was there on the
Oh
panel.
yeah, yeah.
I forget who else was on it though. Off the top of
Did
my head, I
you
don't remember.
stick around for the panel? Like, did you watch it?
No, I missed that one, and I forgot. I just remembered it now. I forgot about it until just a second. I need to see if I can find like video of that online. But I forget who else was there. But I think that was part of the deal also. Like not just to make a museum, but also to get a panel together.
Hmm.
Let's see if I can find it here. I should, yeah. So Jackie Stargrove was the moderator. I remember he told me that. Where the heck is it? Panel descriptions. There was also, by the way, a
He
whole
has a really amazing singing voice. Holy shit.
there was a whole panel with David Hayter, by the way, too. There was a whole Metal Gear thing at the convention.
Yeah.
There was a whole Nintendo thing at the convention. Like Charles Martinet and other people were there. There's a lot of Nintendo people, like not people that
He
I've heard
was.
of, but
There was an interview with him where he was talking about how he was so annoyed that when Konami remade Metal Gear Solid 3, the remake, they didn't. So the weird thing is that they didn't bring back all the voice cast were free to re-record their dialogue. And David Hayter was saying that Konami, instead of contacting all of these voice actors and being like, "Well, come back in and re-record your lines for this, this remake," because it wasn't a remaster; it was a full-on freaking remake.
mm,
Um, and they didn't contact the original voice cast, even though they were on hand and being like, oh, David Hayter was saying, I'd be down to like re-record my dialogue. And he said specifically because he has learned a lot as a voice actor over the years. And he would have played the role a little bit differently than he did back on the PS2 version of the game. But instead, Konami was just like, nah, we'll just use the same dialogue. We'll just recycle the dialogue from the old PS2 game because we still have all the original files and all that stuff. So we'll just use those. But then they did that, but then the singer who voiced the Metal Gear Solid 3 theme song, Snake Eater, they brought her back into the recording studio and had her re-record that song. And David Hayter's like, well, what? So you bring her back to re-record the song, but you didn't want to bring any of us back to re-record all the dialogue? He thought it was kind of weird.
It is weird, actually. I wonder why they did that.
I don't know, but her version of the song is a lot different than the original game too. Like, so the new version that she did, she is a huge fan of Metal Gear Solid 3, the singer. She actually goes to gaming conventions all the time, and she always sings that song at gaming conventions. And every time she goes to the gaming conventions and sings that song, she cosplays as Naked Snake, as the Snake, as the character from Metal Gear Solid 3. So she is a huge fan. She considers it, I've read interviews with her as well. She considers it one of the best games ever, and she is a gamer herself and has played the game numerous times. She considers it one of her favorite games. So on top of not only singing for that game, the original game and the remake, she is also a huge fan of the game. So she decided at one point that she would re-sing that song. So she was saying that she would like sing the song at home, like in front of her kids or whatever, and she was just constantly just re-singing the song from Metal Gear Solid 3 that she did many years ago. And she was like, well, you know, if I had a chance to re-sing that song, I would sing it differently now. And I guess that's what happened. They just brought her back into the recording studio and had her re-sing the song. And if you put both songs side by side, the new song, it sounds totally different than the original. It's a different tone almost. It's not bad. It sounds just as good. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying it's bad or anything like that. It is good, but it's not the same as the original song at all. You can tell there's a difference.
Record his lines, like re-record his lines for free, or actually want to get paid, right? I mean, did this lady get paid?
I would assume that they would have gotten paid. Yeah.
I think so.
I don't think she would have done it for free, but who knows? Maybe she did do it for free. I don't know. I do know that Hideo Kojima wants nothing to do with the remake. He has been asked by employees of Konami who worked not only with him on the original game, but also worked on this
kill people, doesn't he, or something like that?
remake. What?
Didn't he? I think he was quoted as saying, like, they asked him what he thinks of the game, and he said, like, I know 10 different ways to kill people, or something like that. That's what I heard.
No. So what he did say was, I'd sooner kill myself than take a look at that remake. He wants nothing to do with that remake. So the thing is that he doesn't seem to understand that they didn't butcher his vision. They kept it identical. They didn't add anything new. They didn't take away anything. All they did was remake the game in Unreal Engine 5. It's got the exact same original dialogue. It's got the exact same cutscenes. Nothing has been changed. Nothing has been altered. Everything is identical, including all the original cheat codes. Everything is identical. And so, for whatever reason, I feel like Hideo Kojima thought that they were going to butcher it. So because of that, he doesn't want to look at it. It's like, but all the devs who worked on the original game and still work at Konami and worked on the remake said, no, you need to understand, we didn't damage your original game. Everything is identical. We even credited you 17 times in the intro. And they did. Yeah. If you watch the intro to that game, Hideo Kojima's name pops up at least 20 times in that intro to the game. Written by Hideo Kojima, directed by Hideo Kojima, based on a concept by Hideo Kojima. It's like all over the place. And I think they wanted, deep down, they wanted it to be a love letter to him. And at the end of the day, he just isn't interested. So.
I think though, like he just didn't like he doesn't want anybody touching his stuff. You know what I mean? I don't think it's a matter of like,
Well,
it's
I
like
don't
don't
think
touch
so.
my stuff. Like I'm not
I
gonna
don't
mess it up. But I don't touch it.
I don't think that's it because he doesn't even own the rights to Metal Gear Solid, right? It was always owned by Konami, so he had no say anyway. I mean, yes, he wrote and directed the game when he worked for Konami, uh, but it's not he's not the license holder of that franchise. He never was. It
I
was
know,
Konami.
but he still made the games, and he probably feels like emotionally invested in it, right?
Well, from everything that I've read, he has said, I've moved on. Because he owns his own company now. He makes the Death Stranding games under Kojima Productions. So he's just moved on. Like, he doesn't want to live in the past. Um, Obviously, there's some bad blood between him and Konami because Konami got rid of him. I don't think he'll ever recover from that because he was in a happy position at Konami, from my understanding, and then I don't know exactly what went down. It was never really revealed, but Konami got rid of him. And then from there, it took him a couple of maybe years, but he formed his own company, Kojima Productions, and then started making, he didn't do any of the Metal Gear Solid games or anything like that because he couldn't, because they're still owned by Konami. But he did make the Death Stranding series.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure what the whole issue is, honestly, but in any case, I think they did a good job. The consensus is that the game is good. It seemed like a good
Oh,
game to me
it's
when it came
fantastic.
to
I mean, I got emotional when I first started playing it. I was like, because Metal Gear Solid 3 was one of my favorite Metal Gear Solids, as it is for a lot of people. I talk to a lot of gamers, and a lot of them, I ask them, what's your favorite Metal Gear Solid? And invariably, everybody always says Metal Gear Solid 3 is their favorite. And so, uh, having said that, Konami has talked about now remaking Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2, so in Unreal Engine 5. So the whole thing is they're doing it uh, timeline wise, as opposed to when it actually was released. So timeline wise, like in-game timeline, Metal Gear Solid 3 was the first game because it took place before Metal Gear Solid 1. So they're doing it that way. They're doing it like timeline wise in terms of the game. And Metal Gear Solid 3, in terms of timeline within the game universe, was the first game. And so now they're going to go into Metal Gear Solid 1 and 2.
Yeah, it makes sense. So,
Continue
by the
on.
way, I mentioned before there was an FMV panel. So it was that guy
Yes.
Paul Morgan Stetler,
Yep.
and then there was also the woman from Phantasmagoria 1. I'm forgetting her name. You probably know it though.
Yes. Yes,
The
I
character
do.
name was Adrian, right? But it's like Victoria something or other.
Victoria Morcell, yeah.
So she was on it too.
She doesn't go by that name anymore though. It's Victoria something rather Morcell. She goes by it's a longer name now that she goes by. But anyway, yes. Um she is heavily involved actually in conversations with Curtis as well. She's always on his channel as well. They So it was interesting when they came up with that YouTube channel. The original plan was, you know, just like a lot of other famous celebrities and stuff like that who just
Right,
started YouTube channels during COVID. And it was mainly because, like, oh, everything's in lockdown, what the fuck are we going to do? And so a lot
right.
of these celebs were like, well, let's start a YouTube channel. That's how Jack Black became a YouTuber and started playing video games. He wasn't working. He didn't have any movies because everything was shut down because of COVID lockdown. So he's like, well, what am I going to do? I know, let's make a YouTube channel. And
I
so
didn't
then
know
he
you had a
started
YouTube
playing.
channel.
Yes, he does. He does.
I
He
didn't
does
know that.
video. He
I
plays.
know Josh Gad did a bunch of stuff, and I know like I just found out recently that what's his name, Bashir from Deep Space Nine, Alexander Siddig, he made a bunch of stuff during COVID, and he got a whole bunch of other Deep Space Nine people to be in it, which is pretty cool. But you don't know what I'm talking about since you never saw Deep Space Nine, so forget I just
Okay,
said
I know who Dr. Bashir is. You monkey. Come on.
Yeah, 'cause he's on an episode of Next Generation. I forgot.
He I didn't know
he
he
was,
was on the Next Generation, but
he,
I
I think he was on an episode of Next Generation where like
no,
they
okay, so
he
here's the
met
thing.
Data or something.
I did watch Deep Space 9 back in the day when it aired on TV. I didn't watch every episode. I wasn't as heavily invested into it as I was in the Next Generation. And that's mainly because I just felt more of a connection to the Next Generation. I just felt like DS9 was always about war and you know,
I mean, to your point, the visions of Next Generation and DS9 are very different. So like Next Generation was made by Gene Roddenberry, and it's like part of his thing is like
kind of. Kind of.
Next Generation was created by Gene Roddenberry. I know he died
He
in some way to
died
go,
like
but I think
by the second season.
no, not he. I think he was thrown out by the second season. I think he died like somewhere like in the fifth or sixth season or something like that. But in any case, it was his vision that drove the show, and the creative vision was like the same as the original Star Trek, which is like in the future, there's no more conflict, there's no more strife, everyone loves each other, we get to this amazing utopian future, da da da. In Deep Space Nine, they sort of changed the vision, and it was like, okay, maybe the Federation like has their act together, but like
The rest of the
basically,
galaxy.
the rest of Skysley doesn't, and it's all
Yeah.
these people like arguing and fighting, and actually like Rick Berman has said that like Gene asked him to be like the keeper of the vision, and he originally pushed back on a lot of the stuff they did on Deep Space Nine, but eventually he gave in on whatever they were able to do. But like
Wait, hold on. So Gene Roddenberry was still alive when DS9 was.
no, but like I think that he handed over sort of the creative control of the
Rod
franchise. Like
Roddenberry.
this is before Rod Roddenberry. So Rick
Okay.
Berman was like one of the main producer of Next Generation in the like later part of it. After Gene Roddenberry was out, and after I think Bob Justman even was in the beginning, but he was in the beginning of the end of Next Generation, and then he carried through Deep Space Nine and Voyager and the movies and everything else. He was like sort of the guy who was like the gatekeeper at Paramount for the vision of Star Trek that was like sort of passed down to him by Gene Roddenberry or whatever. So I think he was very reluctant to do a lot of the things where people were like in Deep Space Nine, like there's a whole episode where very famous one where Cisco like basically has some people killed and stuff like that. It's a really good episode, but like Gene Roddenberry probably never would have allowed that because it would have been like a Federation captain does not do that. Like that's not how how it works in the
Yeah.
future.
I really need
But
to watch that series. Like I have the entire DVD box set of it, like this big giant box set. It's one of those really fancy looking ones, and I paid good money for it. I barely ever touched it, but I remember watching one of the episodes, and it was the one where they go back in time or something like that, and I really liked the episode, and it was the one where Cisco is like a writer who's trying to
oh,
get
that
his
one.
work published, and everybody's like, "Why? You're black. You don't black people
That's
don't
like one of
write."
the most famous episodes they did.
Yeah.
It's not even back in time. It's like some kind of alternate like vision. There's something the prophets give him or something like that. It's not even clear, but like somehow like there's some other universe where like he exists there and he's like that guy and
I thought it was so
apparently
funny seeing Rene Auberjonois as not as Odo, but as like this
right.
just kind of like very negative guy who's like, people like you don't deserve to write. It's like he's like
Well,
he's got this.
a lot of the actors like appear in that, like who have makeup in the most of the series appeared in that episode without makeup. So
Yeah,
it's sort of a cool episode. But
it
also that
was.
was directed by Avery Brooks, I believe, and he apparently was so into that role that like at the end of the episode where like he's like crying on the floor basically, like they kept the cameras rolling for a while, but then like even after they cut, he was like still in the character, and he was like because he was like so invested in that character, and it took him a while to like get out of it and actually like be himself again. You know what I mean?
Oh, really?
So yeah, he was like really because I guess it was very very meaningful to him. I mean, which I understand. So um, like you don't understand. You can't destroy an idea. An idea will live forever. Anyway, I'm sorry. But
The
it's a
one
good
thing I
episode.
found really weird about Avery Brooks
He's a
is
weird guy.
is Well, I haven't seen him in anything more recently. I mean, every time there's like Star Trek panels at conventions, he's never there. So
He's a very, very strange person. He's a teacher, an acting teacher at Rutgers, Rutgers University. But
the thing is
he's
that he
been on
overact. I
documentary.
always felt like as Ben Sisko, he always overacted. Whenever it was like a scene like that, like exactly like what you just said, like he was like, oh, you can't, yeah, it was always over the top. And I'm sorry, but every time I watch scenes like that in DS9, I always laughed because I was like, what is he doing? Why is he like going crazy overboard with the acting? Like, I mean, it just got to the point where it doesn't feel realistic
That
when you're
I,
overacting like that.
I agree with you, but I will tell you that that's not, in my recollection, really representative of the whole series. Like most
Oh
of the time,
no,
I
of
think
course not.
his acting is very subtle, and he's an extremely good actor. Actually, like I wouldn't have said that like before watching the series because before Deep Space Nine, he was mostly known for being like a street like a gangster on Spencer for Hire, the TV show. He was this guy Hawk. I think he had a spin-off show like called A Man Called Hawk or something like that. So like this big scary
See,
guy like on the street.
so realistically, DS9 put him on the map in Hollywood, and you'd figure that
He was famous before that, but not anywhere near as famous, obviously.
yeah, so you'd figure that based on that he would, maybe go to conventions and meet his fans. I don't know.
He's a very strange guy. That's what I'm saying. Like he seems
Yeah.
like a nice person, but like he's odd. For every interview I've ever seen of him, he acts very odd. And
Can
like
you
it's
can you give examples of what you refer to when you say that?
um like he like somebody said first of all, there's a Deep Space Nine documentary called What We Left Behind, I think it's
Yes.
called.
I've
And
never
it's
seen
really,
it
really
yet, but I know
good.
about it.
Yeah, you
Hmm.
should see it, but first watch the show. But it's a really good documentary. He actually appears in that, but I think it might only be like an footage that he was forced to film for the DVDs or something like that. But
Okay.
they mentioned that like to think if you want to understand him, think of him like a jazz musician. He sort of like talks whenever he's like being interviewed as if he's like doing a jazz concert. Um, and he just
What?
like
That's
yeah,
weird.
he's very odd. He'll like William Shatner tried to interview him for his documentary The Captains, which is like he interviewed all the other captains of Star Trek, which is a pretty good documentary as well.
Hmm.
And I remember like he interviewed him and he's like how was it like working on Star Trek? And he's like, well, like like what do you think it was like? Like of course it was a thing, like like it's very hard to understand anything he's saying basically. But I'm sure he thinks he makes a lot of sense. Um,
Okay.
I remember even also like, when Star Trek first came out, when Deep Space Nine first came out, there was an interview with him in TV Guide, and I thought he was odd just for the interview because they asked in the interview, "What is it like being the first black captain?" And his answer was like, "I'm not black, I'm brown," which is, I mean, it's true,
What?
but it's a
Okay.
weird thing to say.
That
Know
is
what
a
I
weird
mean?
thing to say.
So I think he's just an odd guy, but he's a good actor. So when you watch the show, you don't realize how strange he acts off camera.
So now, did you hear about this? I want to bring something up. Now, I have not seen the final episode of DS9, obviously, but I do know, based on what I read recently, that he sacrifices himself at the ending of DS9.
Sort of. I mean, like he's like sort of taken
Okay,
by the
so
prophets or something like
there
that.
is a new series coming out called Star Trek Starfleet Academy, not based off of the games or anything like that. So get
And
that
the
idea out of
Doctor
your
from
head.
Voyager's in that, right?
Yeah, so I don't know. I probably I know that a lot of cast members are returning. Now they did mention that Avery Brooks is going to be coming back.
What, really?
Yes. So apparently, one of the actors let it slide that Avery Brooks is coming back as Benjamin Sisko, and that he is coming back to the world so many years later, and apparently, he never actually died. Apparently, he was in some kind of
Right. He's supposed to come back, and he said in the end last episode he basically says he's going to come back, and then
Yes.
he
So
doesn't. Then he never comes back. So I mean, if he comes, I mean, if he's in it, so it's going to take. But wait a second. That show is supposed to take place like 1,000 years in the future or something like that.
mm-hmm.
So he's going to come back 1,000 years later. He's like, "Hey,
Yep.
everybody, I'm back." And you're
Yeah.
like, "Oh shit, they're all
Exactly.
dead."
Yeah.
What the hell's the
Basically.
point of that? That sounds pretty crappy.
I know. Where's Jake?
Right.
You know.
Oh, here's Jake's corpse. It's been rotting for the last like 2,000 years.
Yeah.
Well, you can say hi if you want. Anyway, so let's talk a little bit about the concert.
Sure.
So there was a concert after Portland Retro Gaming Expo. It was not like officially part of the expo, but there was a concert by this band called Error 47.
Yes.
Um,
Which is
and Error,
Trolls Playmert's band.
he's one of the people in it. He's the drummer. I guess they have two lead singers. Jackie Stargrove is one, and then there's a woman, Sarah, I don't know her last name. And my friend Eric Elson does keyboards and also electric violin, which is super cool.
I love the part
Um,
near the ending when I was watching the ending of the live stream where he was doing "Girl in the Tower" with the other girl, and then he started doing it as Shatner. He's like, "Girl in the Tower."
right. I didn't get
I'm
that right
like,
away. I was like, what is he doing? And I finally realized it was like
he was doing the Shatner
Rocket
singing.
Man.
Yes.
Rocket Man.
Well, I mean, it
Yeah,
was
it was really
very
funny.
obvious to me when he started lighting the cigarette and going, "Girl in the Tower."
I, I know I should have gotten it, but I didn't get it right away. And then I
Okay.
finally got it and started laughing. Yeah, that was actually really funny. But yeah, so there's a few other people I don't know their names, but there's a lead guitarist who's really good, a bass guitarist who's really good. There was another keyboard player who was quite good. And then they
Yeah.
had so Error 47. The name of it is because it's like from an Error in the Sierra game. In Quest
Yeah.
for Glory 4, I think there's like Error 47. If you have like Rashida's too fast, it'll say like Error 47. It crashes the game, the original version.
I
Um,
figured it was something like that. Yeah.
yeah. So anyway, so they also had I guess this band they did sort of a performance at the Adventure Game Hotspot convention, but that was the sound there was not very good for whatever reason. It was hard to hear them,
Okay.
and I think they played a completely different set. They did the Girl in the Tower there too. That's the only one they did that I recall was the same. But here they got these Sierra musicians to be with them in the band at different sets. So the first set was
Ooh.
with the fat man George Sanger.
Okay.
I recorded the entire like first song on my
But
phone.
then you hold on, but you're contradicting yourself though because you said they got Sierra
Oh yeah,
composers, but you literally told me that you talked to him and
yeah.
he said he never did anything was for Sierra.
So mostly Sierra, but not
Okay.
only Sierra. They also got
Yeah.
George Sanger. So Neil Grandstaff was actually sitting in the back playing with the band the whole time on his guitar,
Yeah.
and George came out with his electric guitar, and with his outfit that he used to wear like on the manuals for these games, like where it said the Fat Man and it showed like him with a cowboy hat, and, like a really cool like Elvis-like suit and stuff like that. He came on rocking that thing on stage, and he like brought the house down. It wasn't just him;
Really?
it was the whole band. Well, first of all, I told him, and also Trolls afterwards. Like, I had no idea Trolls was such a good drummer. He's really good. I mean, they were all
I
good,
mean, the
but
dude is talented at everything. Let's be fair. The dude is just a fucking genius.
I mean, I didn't know he. But listen, I didn't know he was such a great drummer. Like, honestly, like, I don't really watch his YouTube channel. Like, it's not my thing. It's not my cup of
He
tea.
is
And I've been,
so. I'll be honest with you. He is such a nice dude because, like,
oh, he's a
okay,
very
you
nice
you
guy.
you know the thing is, there's a lot of YouTubers out there who you'll join the live chat and they don't read. They're not like you and I. They don't read your live comments. They don't respond to them. Every time I have joined one of Troll's live streams and I've talked to him in the live chat, he has always responded to me. Doesn't matter how many other people are in that live chat. He'll always be like, "Hey, Gamers Grotto," and it's just acknowledge my existence.
That's
And
nice.
I really respect him for that because, like, I mean, there's a lot of YouTubers who will just be like, "Ah, fuck it, whatever." I don't know. And He's not one of those. He will always like respond to me. The one time, I'll never forget this. He was live streaming. I don't remember what it was. He was doing something. He was looking. Oh, he was looking in some of the files for Police Quest 4 or something like that on a live stream. And he found these photos of different planets and everything, and he's like, "What the hell are these doing here?" And he's like telling the live stream, he's like, "This is so weird. This must be deleted stuff that Sierra never used." And I said, "Troll, do you not know what that is?" He's like, "No." And I explained to him that's literally the backgrounds. There was a game that you could play at the shortstop bar in Police Quest 4, and it was like a space game. It was almost like an asteroids space game that you could play on the arcade. You put the money in and you could play it. And those were the backgrounds for that game, the space game. It was like an asteroid
Oh,
style game. He's like,
that's
"Oh
cool.
shit." And he's like, "I didn't even realize that." He's like, "Oh, good find." I'm like, "Well, yeah, I mean, I'm a nerd and I have no life." That's how I know that, because I have no life. And I
Well,
know a bunch of unnecessary information.
in addition to his YouTube channel, I mean,
Yeah.
which I know he has a lot of fans and stuff, like, and he does music and stuff. His drumming is amazing,
No,
and
I was watching. Yeah, no, he is really good.
and this first set was like hard rock, basically hard rock, like metal almost, and it
Hmm.
was mostly music from the Seventh Guest and 11th Hour, which those games, in my opinion, like they're pretty bad, but the
Hmm.
music is amazing. And the soundtrack is like it's very catchy, but like when you play the game, a lot of the music is just like it's just like sort of soft versions of those songs without lyrics or whatever. And they played like really amazing like metal versions, and like George Sanger was like jumping all around the stage and like flipping his guitar around and doing all these crazy things. It's so worth a watch if you haven't seen that. So
I
that was
I
part one.
I
What did you say? I'm
have
sorry.
I have a couple of songs, MP3s on my computer of older stuff that Trolls did, and I remember he did a metal version of the Space Quest 3 theme, and it's one of my favorite themes
They
that
played
he
that, I
ever.
think, too.
Yeah,
But
he's so
it was
good at.
after that one. They
Yeah.
did like they did a set that was basically like
Oh, what
just
the?
like George and whatever else. Then he left, and then they had some more stuff. They did a First of all, Josh Mandel was the MC. He told jokes. He made balloon animals, which were really funny. He does. I guess he used to do balloon animals like a long time ago, probably before he even got the job at Sierra. And uh, and then they did another set with just I think it was just the
Wait, he did
band.
balloon animals. What do you mean? Like he made balloon animals?
He made balloon animals.
I wonder. Okay, so now I'm beginning to wonder something. So in Leisure Suit Larry 7, or yes, Leisure Suit Larry 7, Love for Sale, there is a guy who is quite clearly Ken Williams who you approach, and he's like, "Look, I made a balloon animal," and it's like, and he's like, "Oh, he's like, it's a dog," and every time you like get
Oh
the
yeah, you're
balloon
right.
animal from him, it's like it's a penis. That's all it is. It's not never anything else but a penis. And he's like, "It's a cat," and it's not, and
Well,
everything.
the
And
the
I'm
ones he
almost
made were not.
wondering, I'm
It was not a
almost
penis.
wonder,
It was like one animal like humping another animal.
yeah, yeah, and I'm almost wondering if that was a reference to that guy.
Possible. I don't know.
Because you said
Um,
he before what you were saying before he joined Sierra, he did all that stuff.
he used to do stand-up comedy, and he made balloon animals and stuff like that.
Yeah, so
I think he did at Sierra parties as well.
I'm almost wondering if that's a reference to him.
No, it's possible. Like I said, I don't know.
Yeah.
But so he was the MC, and then they did another set afterwards, which was like they called it a variety set. They did the Space Quest 3 theme, they did a bunch of other cool stuff. I started talking to some people, and I was like really like excited after the other ones. I
Hmm.
wasn't paying such close attention to all of it. There wasn't like a huge ton of people in person at the concert. I would say there was probably like 40, 50 people.
Okay.
But there was a bunch of people obviously also watching on YouTube and Twitch and stuff like that. And then they did like a couple of tributes to Roberta. So first of all,
Oh, nice.
what's his name? Robert Holmes. He
Yes.
wasn't able to make it in person, but he did like a video tribute where he talked about her, and
Yeah.
then he had a song that he wrote that he performed in her memory, basically about her. And it wasn't just an instrumental song. It didn't have lyrics, if I remember correctly. It was an instrumental, like a very like sort of like
Well,
sad and chill.
she
Go
was
ahead, I'm sorry.
very close to him and Jane Jensen. She did a lot of live streams with them and stuff like that in the past. I remember tuning into a few of them, and no, she was. That's the one thing I will say about her that was really amazing was she was really good at bringing people together, and I think you've said that to me. I think we've talked about this before in the past. Is that she was always very instrumental on like finding people who uh, would have never otherwise come together as a community. Like I don't think before she got in touch with Lori and Corey Cole, I don't think they would have ever gone to any conventions. Or I even think she said that on her Facebook page. She said that if it had not been for Roberta Vaughan, I would have never been a part of these conventions and never gone and met the fans and anything like that. I would have just stayed home.
Yeah, I think you're right, and it's not only that, but there were people that were telling stories about how some of these people who in the past like weren't talking, like they were upset with each other, there was some fight going on, and they hadn't seen or spoken to the other people like in years and years, and she still managed to bring them together. And then there was also stories like Josh told a story about he said that there was a game that's coming out. I think he said it's the game Foolish Mortals, which is a point and click adventure that was on Kickstarter.
Okay.
And he said that the guy who was making the game reached out to him and said, you know, he would love if he could do some writing for the game.
Hmm.
And this was a while back. And then he said, I'd love to. And he basically said I gave him a price that was like very, very cheap compared to like what I typically would get paid or whatever. And he came back and he said, I'd love to do it, but unfortunately over the budget. So thanks very much anyway. And, okay, no problem. And then he said a couple days later, the guy reached back out to him again and said, actually, I just got some extra budget, and if you're still willing to do it, I'd love to have you. And he said, sure. And then he said, like, after, I think we said after Roberta passed away, he found out that Roberta gave the guy the money to go out to hire
Oh,
him out of her own pocket. And that wasn't the only story like that. There were multiple stories like that of her actually like giving out of pocket money to support developers and people she cared about, and to support video game development, and and people that were the recipients of that didn't even know it at the time. And listen, I don't think she had like a ton of money or anything like that. She was a
no,
normal working class person like everybody
she
else.
was just had a heart of gold.
Exactly. She had a very very large heart, and yeah. So she was an amazing person, and there was a
I mean,
after they
you even told me the story of how she like always mailed you like cookies and stuff for your birthday and stuff like that.
yeah, she used to mail me baked goods. She was a real sweetheart.
Hmm.
I've told you this before, but like I, I, I always like, thought we were close, and we were, but like, I didn't realize she was close to so many people. Like it was pretty. I was so surprised to learn that, and then I was even more surprised to learn this past weekend, like some of the hidden, like kindness that she did to people, which nobody was aware of. So it's pretty
So
crazy.
there's this game that I have on PlayStation. It's a point and click adventure game. I plan to stream it at some point, and I want to bring you on for it. It is Monk. Oh God, what's it called? A Monk's Quest or so. I can't remember the name of it or something like. It has something to do with monks. It's an indie
Okay.
point and click adventure game, fully voice acted, but Roberta Vaughn is in it. And
Cool.
I figure it's a perfect game to stream in her memory. Yeah, no, it's really cool, and uh, I think you'd really enjoy it. And I'm pretty well. You have to own this game because you're in the Kickstarter funding for it. Your name is in the credits, so I'm assuming that you own the game.
What's it called?
Uh, I don't remember its name off by heart. I'm gonna have to look in my library,
You said
but
something a second ago, didn't you?
it has something to do with monk. You're a monk in it.
Monk. I
Yeah.
don't know what it is. You have to find it. I'm really curious about it.
But you are listed in the credits as one of the Kickstarter funders for it, so I feel like you probably own a copy of the game. And I think you did say to me at
Probably
some point
do.
that you do own a copy of the game.
It's sort of funny.
But
Yeah,
yes, it is. All of these games that are, were Kickstarter funded or whatever, or are tied in to some to some degree to Sierra and stuff like that. They're starting to make their way on consoles. Like Hero U is already on PlayStation, and which is Laurie and Corey Cole's game, Hero U. It's on PlayStation. It's out for PS5. And so I was like, damn, dude, I love that all of this stuff. And next week we get the brand new Simon the Sorcerer game is coming out.
what, really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's coming
Next
out in a
week?
couple of days. Yeah.
Well, I didn't realize that. I heard about it a while ago. I didn't realize it was coming out so soon.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, I mean, yeah, you have to show me that link because I don't remember what it was anymore. But I do back a bunch of stuff, so it's definitely probable that you're right.
Well, there's been so many games that I have played on not on my channel yet, but there's so many games that I've played on PlayStation that I look at the credits and it's like backers Stu's Game Reviews, or well, it doesn't actually say Stu's Game Reviews. It uses your real name, which I'm not
Well,
giving out
sometimes
on
it does say
obviously on
Steve's
the
Game
live stream.
Reviews,
But yeah,
that's really funny.
yeah, and so I'm like, I
So
know who that is.
yeah, no, I try to back these things, especially if there's going to be a physical option, because I really like
Yeah.
the physical version. Any case, so there was after that thing with that Robert Holmes and a couple of things like that, and then there was two more things. Uh, Mark Siebert
Hmm.
did did lyrics to the tune of Marana's piece,
Oh
Infested
yes, well, I mean
Glory.
that was already shared publicly on Facebook already anyway.
So
But so
I don't think I saw it on Facebook, but it was like Roberta Vaughan,
yeah, yeah,
dreaming
yeah. So
of
the
you.
okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thing. That he didn't write that song. So that song
Well,
was actually
he
written
didn't write
by
he didn't write the music, but the lyrics are about Roberta Vaughan. So
the
somebody did
lyrics
it.
were about Roberta Vaughan. So, but who wrote the lyrics was Roberta Vaughan's son, not son,
Brother?
brother. Sorry, there we go.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Ames. He wrote the lyrics, and then he posted the lyrics on Facebook. So I watched this all go down, like literally on Facebook. So basically, he posted the lyrics on Facebook in her memory, and then Josh Mandel was like, "Oh, you know, why don't I get in touch with Mark Siebert, and maybe I can convince him to sing the lyrics to that song." And so that's how it all went down. It was literally Josh Mandel contacted Mark Siebert, and that's how that all went down. And they literally took those lyrics that Ames wrote in memory of his sister, and they turned it into an actual song in her
Oh, that's
memory.
so cool. I didn't know that. And so that was really cool. And then Ken Allen also did a song um, that he made up for her.
I
I
gotta
can't
be
remember what it was now.
I gotta be honest. Josh Mandel just seems like such an amazing dude,
Oh, he's a super
because
nice guy.
he's another one who it feels like he's just like Roberta Vaughn in the sense that he always puts others before himself.
Josh
Because
is a really nice guy. I've known him for a long time, and
I would love to meet him. Unfortunately, like every time I've tried to add him as a friend on Facebook, he always denies it. I'm assuming because he doesn't know who the hell I am.
yeah, probably.
But
That's sort of funny.
I would
Hopefully,
love to meet him.
if he just ignore it. I'm impressed he actually denies it. You know what I mean? But no, he's a good guy, and hopefully I'll have him on my channel at some
I would
point.
love, if you ever have him on your channel, I would love to be a part of that, because I want him to know that, I'm not just some random stranger stalking him. I actually grew up with him in his games. Just like, I
You
think it's the thing that, because I'm not a part of Classic Gamers Guild. I haven't been a part of Classic Gamers Guild in many many years because of something that went down within the guild that I wasn't happy
Oh,
with.
really?
Yeah, so basically, it was somebody joined and started saying a whole bunch of really homophobic shit and really just nasty, out of pocket bullshit. And I said, I can't in good conscience be a part of a group that targets specific individuals. We should all be together in this, not apart. And I left after saying that, and
Who's but
nobody
but
ever contacted me back after that, except for Roberta Vaughan, who did
oh,
send
really?
me a private message and say to me, "Look, I really want you to come back. I ended up banning the guy who said all that stuff. Trust me, my brother is gay, and I would never let that kind of shit slide." And I said, I really appreciate that, but I'm just not interested in coming back. And that's where it left. I never went back there after that because I just felt like it was very unprofessional. That it took quite a bit of time before something was actually done, and I don't know. And it's not Roberta's fault or anything like that because I'm sure she was busy with other things in her life, and then she finally saw what was going on and took care of it. But I just that happening just made me realize that that group is not very professional, I guess, and I just didn't want to be a part of that. So I just left and I never rejoined. And so because of that, probably a lot of people don't know who the hell I am, and that's fine. I mean, it is what it is. I know that Anna Vieg and all those kind of people, they don't know who I am. They don't know me at all. Probably. I mean, the only person who really knows me is her brother, and that's only because I literally found out about him on Facebook. I added him as a friend. He accepted, and I've been talking to him ever since. But all those other people that that are close to Roberta, they don't know me. They probably don't even know that I knew Roberta on a personal level and that I actually talk to her on a regular basis on Facebook. They wouldn't because I don't really associate with any of those people. So I am in that community of people who know Roberta, and I am good friends with. I was good friends with her and everything like that. Matter of fact, we would talk about like different FMV games that we loved, and that's how I found out that one of her favorites was Star Wars Rebel Assault 2. Because I was talking to her about that. She was saying, "Oh, that's one of my favorite FMV games. I loved it." And another
So
one of
basically,
hers that she really liked was the X-Files game, and there's several others. Phantasmagoria, obviously, but
so Josh needs to know at some point that you're not just a random stranger stalker. You're a very specific stalker.
yes,
I'll let him know that for you. Don't worry.
yeah, no, but yeah, no, it's just I think maybe the other thing is that people get turned away from me because of my hatred for Trump. Because
Uh,
I'll like post stuff on my Facebook and they'll be like, "Oh Jesus Christ,
I
this
think
guy's
I think
going off." But
most people in that group are probably in your corner there, so I wouldn't think that's a reason.
no, no, but a lot of people don't like hearing politic shit all the time on Facebook, and then they just get tired of probably seeing my posts and my rants about politics or whatever, and they're probably like, "God, I don't want to deal with this guy anymore," and then they just remove me.
That's
Um,
possible, I guess.
I
But
think people need to
I actually,
realize how Facebook works, though. You can actually mute people's. You don't have to unfriend them. You can just
or if you just
mute.
don't click on it, it won't keep sending you that stuff. Like if you like
You can
stuff and
just
you comment
mute them.
on it,
That's what I do. Whenever somebody on my Facebook who's in my group, my friends list, posts shit that I'm not interested in, you can actually hide their content from your wall so that you don't see it. And that's what I do. I don't unfriend them. That's just weird. Because at the end of the day, they're still my friend, right? Why would I unfriend them because of that? I may not agree with their political stances, or I may not agree with some of the things they say, and in that case, if I don't agree with some of the things they say, I can just mute their content so that I don't see it in my live chat
you know
or
what it
my
reminds me
live.
of? I got into a fight with some people on Facebook the other day because
Okay.
it's really stupid, but like they were saying that like a lot of people think that like ColecoVision purposely made the Atari 2600 port of Donkey Kong, which they published, bad, so that it would look better on ColecoVision, and that's really stupid. It's not true, and obviously they tried to make it as good as they could. And so I argued with this guy, and then they called me all sorts of names. He said, "You're so stupid," and like yelling at me. I think some of the comments got deleted, but like I wrote back and I said like, well, this is why I think what I think, and I assure you I'm not stupid. Like that's all I wrote. But then the funny thing was, so Gary Kitchen is the guy who programmed that port of Donkey Kong for Atari 2600 for ColecoVision. And so I
Hmm.
asked him, I saw him at the conference yesterday, what he thought about this question. It turns out I was wrong. So I was wrong. However, I'm still not stupid. Just because I made a mistake, I didn't know, it doesn't mean I had an opinion that was wrong. Doesn't mean that like I'm an idiot or whatever. Just, I'm
Yeah,
entitled to be
no,
wrong about
that's
something.
that's what I find is that in today's day and age, everybody is just so uptight, and a lot of people are also full of themselves. And anytime somebody has an opinion and you don't agree with it, I don't know. Nobody knows how to act anymore. Everybody's just like wants to insult everybody and call them stupid ass freaking names, and it's like, dude, just because you don't agree with somebody doesn't mean you have to like be an asshole to them. I just don't get it. Cause I mean like that goes back to like when I was talking about like game devs getting like threats because people don't like their games. It's like I would never in my wildest imagination ever think of threatening a game developer because I don't like their game. That is crazy to me. And I don't understand if it's the way people are being raised nowadays or what, but it's just so weird. I'm like, dude, have some fucking respect. Treat people how you want to be treated. And I just don't
Yeah.
understand why that is a thing that's so foreign in this day and age. To like, if you don't agree with somebody, treat them like shit. Why? What is that? Who does that? What is the point in that? It doesn't resolve anything. It doesn't do anything. You're just making that other person feel bad for the sake of making them feel bad. It's stupid. And so I
I
don't
know.
understand that. I don't understand that at all. And I am not that kind of a person. I've never been that kind of a person. If I don't agree with somebody, big deal. I don't agree with them. I'm not going to be sitting there going, oh, you're a fucking asshole because I don't agree with you. What? No.
Well, you're the only one apparently.
The only person I will do that to is Chase, and that's because he fucking pisses me off.
Yes, man.
Speaking of Chase, I love the other day. I laughed so hard at that where you posted that picture of you and Al Lowe, and he's like, "Who's that?" And you're like, "It's Al." and, and he's like, "Who's Al?" He's like, "Go." And you're like, "Go look it up on Google." Poor guy is probably like looking up Al. He's getting 1,000 results for Al. He's like, "Who the hell is Al?" Because you never gave him a last name. You just said it's Al.
I think I said Allo, didn't
No, you
I?
didn't. No. Go relook at your post. All you said was it's Al. And he's like, oh. He's like, who's Al? And you just said, go look it up on Google.
That's really funny.
So now he's
I
going to look
guess,
up Al on Google. He's going to get a
yeah.
billion results.
Oh man. Well, anyway, the concert was great. If you can watch it online, definitely recommend you do that. The
Oh,
convention was great
the
as
entire
well.
concert is on Troll's YouTube channel, so I will definitely check it out.
Yeah, definitely do.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm gonna stream this game hopefully in a little bit, and we probably should wind this down. It's been a couple hours, and I want to take a little break before I stream this. And yeah, we should do this again soon.
Oh, absolutely. Preferably sooner than the last. It's been
Well,
like what, a month now since
it
the
wasn't that
last.
long. It was a couple weeks.
Okay.
Exaggerating.
Well, I will look back and make sure, because I think you're wrong, sir. I think it's been longer than that, because I've been trying to get you to do this, just like I've been trying to get you to, give me a release date for Fantaz. Um,
I
because
sent you a text on that.
well, you didn't. You gave me the weirdest text. You literally said, "Well, let's do it. Well, you can do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday." You're like giving me all these dates, these different
I
dates,
gave
and I'm
you
thinking to myself,
options because I figured you want to give him a bunch of options.
yeah, but if I'm going to somebody and being like, I
Yeah,
don't know.
which date works best for you?
I feel like he
Anyway,
would want a specific date, not just a bunch of
and then it'll be like,
frickin'
I can't
different
do it
dates
that
thrown
day,
at him.
and then we'll keep going
Yeah, I
back and
guess.
forth.
I guess. Well, I'll figure it out. I know that right now he's at conventions again because he was posting photos of all these different conventions. He posted a photo of him on a transporter pad from Star Trek, the original series, and he's all dressed up as Captain Kirk. And he was at a convention and he got a photo on the transporter pad or something like that. It looks pretty cool. So he's obviously at a convention of some kind right now. So I don't know. I don't like really bugging people when they're busy with other things, but I'll try to send him a message and be like, yo, we're ready for you. So I'll give him those dates and then see what works, see what doesn't work. But I have the
Well, at
funniest feeling.
this point tomorrow may not work anymore because it's already tomorrow. But yeah, let me know.
Yeah, well, I mean, I feel like because he's so big into the convention scene at the moment right now, that it may not be for a little bit anyway. But I can certainly, I can certainly at least get in touch with him, and we'll go from there. But yeah, hopefully soon. And again, I kind of want to stream the game with you first on your channel.
Oh,
Before
you
you
do?
bring him on. I did say
Okay.
this before because
I thought
I
we talked
feel
about that
like
and you said that afterwards that we should just do it with him, but we could do it
no no
beforehand.
no 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 I didn't say that. I said do it beforehand so that you get a feel for the game and understand how because you said you've never played it, right?
I haven't, yeah.
Okay. So it makes sense that for your first playthrough, you and I do it together because played and beaten that game about a million times now. So I can help you out with it. And then that way, when you do have him on with me, you're not so invested in figuring out, oh, how do I solve this puzzle? How do I do this? How do I do that? And you can devote more time to, yes, playing the game, but also asking him questions and having it as more of just as watching you play a game. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It just makes more sense to me.
Yeah, that's fine with me. I'm happy to do it.
Okay. Well, then you just need to let me know on a day when you want to start that. It'll probably be a multiple part stream, only because Phantasmagoria is a pretty long game. And again, do you have the actual disc or do you have it digitally?
I have the disc, but I don't know where it is, so I'm probably gonna actually go on GOG and just buy it because it's like $10 and
Well, it's probably even less than that. I have the funniest feeling it'll probably be a couple of dollars. Every time I see them on GOG, they're always on sale. So you'll
it was.
probably find it
I
for.
looked today. It was $10, but maybe they'll go on sale tomorrow for Halloween or something. I don't know, but
You never
I
know,
do have
yeah.
the discs. I just unfortunately don't know where they are at the moment. So
Do you have
I know
only the
definitely
first game or do you have the second one as well?
the second game I actually know where it is. But the first game I don't. So I have it somewhere, but I don't know where. It's not
Dude, wouldn't it
delightful.
be great if I could contact Paul and get him on your channel as well for the second game? We could stream the first game with David and the second game with Paul.
That would be pretty cool.
I do have Paul's personal Discord. I could message him.
Well,
Hmm.
go for it if you want. You can try, but
I'll have to think about
maybe
it.
it's better. Maybe it's better if we do the first one first, and then.
Yeah.
But seriously, because this is what you'll something to show him, like what we did for the other one, So
Yeah.
he'll probably be like, "What's the big deal? I did that myself, like 2 years ago." Anyway,
All right.
I think we gotta wrap this up because I gotta prepare for
Yeah,
the
no
next
worries, man.
broadcast.
Yeah,
But
so
thanks for having me on here again.
oh, absolutely. Thank you. And thank you to everybody tuning in tonight. I think we only had Lewis in the live chat, but thank you to all the lurkers in the live chat. Great to have you here for another episode of the Paintcast. Tune in a couple of weeks. We're going to have another Paintcast at some point, hopefully soon. Hopefully within less than a couple of weeks. Yeah, as I said, this is a growing podcast. So far it's been getting really good views, so obviously there's an appeal for this, and we greatly appreciate you guys being here. And please remember, don't be afraid to go into the live chat. If there's ever anything you want to talk about during the Paintcast, it's not just about us. It's about you guys. It's about you guys, the viewers. So if there is anything you ever want to talk about in the live chat, feel free to leave a comment in the live chat, and we will definitely talk about it. But anyway, that's it for tonight, guys. Thank you very much for tuning into the Paintcast. I hope you guys have a fantastic night and a wonderful rest of your week. And we'll see you soon at the Paintcast. Tune in to Stu's Game Reviews tonight. He's going to be streaming a new Atari game that's not even out yet. So I don't know when you plan to do that. What time are you
10:30.
thinking?
10:30.
10:30, and that's Eastern Standard Time, correct?
Correct.
Okay,
Yep.
so at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Stu's Game Reviews channel. That's STU Game Reviews. Stu's Game Reviews. Check him out.
STUS.
Okay,
STUS.
well, I'm pretty sure they figured that part out because I said Stu's Game Reviews. Yes.
You never know. They're all dumb
All right.
people.
Okay. Calling my viewers dumb. All right. I see how this is. But anyway, thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Have a fantastic night. I'll be back with more live streams tomorrow of video games. Take care. Have a good night, everybody.
Peace out, everybody. Thanks a lot.